from the past. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Boom, boom, boom. See, I made the cover of Newsday?
Yes.
Yeah. They had me, like, making about $15 million a year. Did you read that?
I didn't read the article yet. You got $15 million in you?
If Jackie reads that, he'll go on strike.
Hey, what about me?
$15 million for me.
No wonder I can't get time to fork over any money.
Yeah. Howard's got it all. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, I'm on the cover of Newsday. I'll explain everything in a minute.
I was happy you hadn't done anything.
Yeah, I know.
I see you on the cover. I think you've been arrested.
Yeah, Gorilla's a weird kid. I saw him this morning. He was the one who told me, he goes, you're on the cover of Newsday. I go, why? About your bank account or something.
Oh, geez.
So I'm like, Jesus, what did I do? Today I'm holding a big press conference at 8:30. You'll be able to hear it here over the airwaves.
Is someone coming?
Oh, yeah, the world is coming. I mean, everyone's coming. They want to hear my big announcement.
Yeah.
They want to know if I'm staying in the race or am I pressing ahead or what am I doing?
It was funny because yesterday on the news on Channel 2, I heard them saying something like, is Howard Stern's gubernatorial campaign doomed?
Yeah, great. Well, this whole financial disclosure thing is... I was on the phone over 2 hours with a lawyer yesterday in a conference call. Yeah, with a couple of lawyers, actually. And trying to sort this whole thing out and what it means to me and my family and what the hell the rules mean. I should have just kept my mouth shut. A part of me wanted to just keep my mouth shut and not file the papers because they've never prosecuted anyone for not disclosing financial information. But you know what? As the lawyer said to me, he says, with you, they'll always go after you.
They would find out.
And
we have our people in the press to thank for that because they'd immediately be looking for your financial disclosure.
Yeah, they've never prosecuted any politician for not disclosing financial information, but me, they'd be all over. I'd have to do a year in jail, which, I'm not kind of prepared to do. I don't want to be governor that bad.
With time off for good behavior, you'd be out in like 8 or 9 months.
Yeah. My butt would be pretty sore. I don't know how easy it would be to sit down.
You'd be...
I could do a year in jail and a $10,000 fine.
You'd be someone's wife.
Yeah.
But you'd only have to do 8 or 9 months.
Yeah, I bet you by the time they were done with me, I'd be doing more time than O.J.
Probably. Yeah. You would be the kind of guy who'd go into prison for a year and wind up with 20.
For some reason, my job seems to be making people laugh.
Yeah.
That really is my job. That's what I do for a living. Some people are offended by it, but my job really is to make people laugh. And for some reason, I have more enemies and hit list people than any guy alive.
It is the worst job you can have, apparently.
Yeah.
Because you get people upset.
I know. I really get people ticked off. I get people good and ticked off. So, I worked on my speech all last night. I got it all here on the tape. Right here.
Kathy, if you could double space this, it would really help. I'm going to try and read this.
That's some speech.
No, that's my note. Kathy has to type this for me this morning.
I was going to say, don't do a speech like that.
From the podium, thanks.
You sound funny.
Yeah, I don't know why this is on high speed. Wait, I got to adjust it.
I have told you everything about my life.
That's the first sentence of my speech today. Isn't that great?
You just play that tape. I like
maybe I'll just... And you know what I'll do? I'll move my lips. I'll be like...
Hold up your neck.
Yeah.
Hours a week, telling you all the most intimate details of my life.
I just move my lips while I do it. Yeah, just hold the little speaker up to my throat.
That's right.
Put the Gary dummy up to the microphone.
Yeah, let him give the speech. That's so wrong. No, so I'm going to deliver a speech. I actually put a lot of thought into it. It took me about 15 minutes to write.
How long is your speech? 15? No, it's not 15 minutes.
It's probably 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I want it double spaced. So,
of course.
Well, for history.
Your speeches have to be double spaced.
And I don't know. There's a whole mess of things I want to comment on to the press. I have a lot of feelings about the political process, about...
Will you be taking questions?
I will, Robin. I will allow, not as long as the president last night, not 43 minutes of questions, but I will allow 20 minutes of questions.
Okay. 20?
Yes. That's what's scheduled. It's a half-hour press conference. We have a schedule. I will go on at 8:30. I will deliver my speech. That will take approximately 4 to 5 minutes, plus introductory time. Steve Grillo's uncle will be introducing me to the crowd.
Yes. Did someone write something for him?
Freddie, write something. Jackie, quickly.
Geez.
Jackie, Nitty, Rico.
I think we should keep it pretty short.
Yeah, write a sentence.
Right. You know.
You heard the guy on the phone.
I was telling somebody yesterday that you can't tell the difference between yes and no.
I know, so imagine the speech. Let's not tell Robin the speech, see if she can interpret it.
I can't believe Jackie's going home and making jokes.
Of course.
Not jokes, very serious. Oh.
You wouldn't believe what's going on with my big press conference today. So Stan's working, can't be here. He has a business trip to Texas that he's been planning.
Oh.
So he just called me this morning from the airport.
And?
He wanted to speak with me before the press conference.
Oh,
is he off his rocker or what? I love the guy, but he takes it so serious. I love him.
He called back again, but you know, I told him that you were, the truth, that you were running around, getting your makeup done for the...
Oh, we lied the first time. So I told Gorillo, just tell him you can't find me.
Well, I lied the second time.
What'd you say?
I said you were running around getting your makeup done.
Well, I
You can't run around and get makeup done.
But, no, I run around and get the makeup done.
I know what his idea was.
What?
He had an idea, but I'll tell you off the air, because, well, he feels that you should have a big party that where you can videotape, so that you could put out a videotape of a campaign party.
Oh, dear.
I'm not explaining it entirely right, but...
Maybe I better resign just so he doesn't become governor.
Yeah, what is that? A party?
Stan's got good ideas. You gotta let him express them. He's good about government. He's not good about parties.
I think I better be your lieutenant governor.
He's very...
You might have to step in. I love Stan. One of the best things about running for governor has been meeting Stan Dworkin. I really am a big fan of his. So I avoided the phone call because, everyone's been calling. And each member of the Libertarian Party has been calling me.
Really? They want to know what you're up to?
Well, you got to understand something. There were about 43 members of the Libertarian Party active that I know of in New York. Because I was at the convention. There was about 43 of them.
It's a very hands-on party.
Yeah. So the guy that we thought was our point man, Joe Brennan.
Right.
We said, we'll call him.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured he talks to everyone in the party. But each guy in the party, like Ludwig and all them, they've been calling individually saying they want to meet with me.
And you know who else? The chairman of the party, Gail Bova.
Yeah, I mean, but there's,
Chairman?
Yeah, everyone there has a major title.
Uh-huh.
There's very few soldiers. It's mostly,
mostly chiefs.
Mostly chiefs. That's
no
why
Indians.
But that's why you get into the Libertarian Party. You want to be a chief. Maybe you couldn't be a chief in the Democrats or the Republicans, and now all of a sudden you're a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't you get the impression that Ludwig was demoted to almost a private, yet he still demands general status?
Well, I like Ludwig. Don't
He's
get me wrong. He's a great guy, but he's got to mellow out. He's got to realize, I'm trying to make some heavy decisions for myself, not for the Libertarian Party.
My message yesterday posted on the desk said, Ludwig is very upset that he has not been informed or invited to the press conference.
Ludwig. Ludwig. Doesn't Ludwig have to go to work? He's got to make a living somewhere.
See, this is why Ludwig does not fear financial disclosure.
That's
there
right.
Is nothing to disclose.
I got a feeling. Anyway, I'm on the front page of the paper, and it says, Howard Stern's most private part, his bank account. You know what's funny about this? I have been on the radio. I'm going to address this in the press conference, but I've been on the radio for 20 years. And, Robin, I've told everything about my life, but I've always refused to answer how much money I make.
Well, you're keeping a lot more secrets now.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you didn't ever tell me about Michael Jackson.
Yeah, but I told you you're going to be learning about it. It's not a secret if I tell you about it. It's just I'm delaying it because I can't tell you everything at once. But you know what I mean? I've always been very open about my life, and it's really weird that now all of a sudden the press is saying, "Oh, gee, he doesn't want to give out his salary." Why would I want? Who do you know that would want to give out their salary to their neighbors, to their friends? I got children. I got a wife. I mean, why would I do that?
Why don't all the people of Newsday post their salaries in the paper?
Yeah, why can't I learn what they make? I'd love to know what they make so their lives can be miserable.
That Mike Lupica is supposed to make a lot of money. I want to know how much he makes.
Yeah, I mean, let everyone give financial disclosure. Why should we? That's something that's so private and personal. And, I mean, let's face it. It's also a contractual problem for me, quite honestly. I have a deal with a movie company that says explicitly in the contract that I am not allowed to reveal how much money they're paying me.
Well, did you get paid by them yet?
I received some funds from them, yes.
Oh. I was thinking of a loophole.
No, I mean, and listen, who's going to do business with me if I reveal everything? Infinity has a contract with me that says I'm not allowed to reveal what I make. They got a whole structure here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same way they won't tell me what Imus makes. If I find out, I'm going to want more money.
You'll hit the roof.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why they want me to be quiet. For all I know, you might have the same clause in your contract, do you?
They don't even let me read my contract.
I don't think you've even seen your contract. I think you just sign it and you don't even care.
I don't know how much. I keep financial disclosure from myself.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Jackie, how much money do you make a year on club dates?
$750,000.
Oh. All right. So there you go.
And he knows the figure right off the top of his
head. Sure. Oh, he counts it every night. It's like Midas.
Of course I'm not telling anyone.
No, you're not going to tell anyone. It's none of their business. And it's the kind of thing where... So what does the law say? The law says, hey, listen, what if you got a governor who has stock holdings and throws all the state's business to those...
All of a sudden, all the people he does business with are getting state contracts.
So you know what I said? I said, I am more than happy to tell you any stocks that I hold. Mm-hmm. I think I can name them on my...
But that would be after... Why do you have to do it now? You should be able to do that after you're governor.
Right.
Because you can't do anything now.
No, I have absolute... Well, that's what I've said. And I said, to make it easy on everyone, I'll name it ahead of time. Here's where I own stock. I'm not a big stock guy. I don't know anything about investing. I have a few stocks my father told me to buy. And I'm so cheap that I'm afraid to even put any money into it. Yeah, I'm afraid of the depression. I don't know. Somehow, I wasn't born in the depression, but I'm afraid of it coming back.
It was inherited.
Right. So, I mean, I'm a simple guy. And where do I get my money? I get paid from Infinity Broadcasting, from Simon & Schuster, and from... who else?
Riker Entertainment.
Barely. And
I left them out, you said.
Yeah, actually, I have no problem telling you what I make from them. Big fat zero. And I don't know where else. I mean, that's it. I get a paycheck like everyone else.
Yeah, the Letterman people send you a thing every once in a while.
I made I'll tell you what I made off Letterman last year. I made $5,000. How's that? But I have never, in my 20 years, ever told you what I make. It's no one's business. Anyway,
Well, actually, you have disclosed your previous salaries when you were making no money.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The $96.
Oh, yeah, I've disclosed $96 a week. Yeah. And I told you what I was making in Washington. I think I was at $30,000.
Right.
Right. I took a pay cut from 40. I was in Detroit making 40, and then...
came to Washington for that big 30,000.
Came for that big 3-0.
It was such a big deal to work there.
Yeah, I had to leave when I asked for 50, I think. They just didn't want to give it to me.
What, are you trying to hold us up?
I was number one in the market. They didn't want to go for it.
Wasn't your fault.
Yeah. So anyway, I should take a break. I'm already far behind, and today's the day we can't afford to be far behind because not only do we have the press conference, we have guests coming in. I have to contact Elvis Presley.
Wow, it's a big day.
Yeah, it is a big day, Robin. And I want to read these articles out of the newspaper. A lot of speculation about what's going to go on in the press conference. We have an exciting program for you today.
You have a definitive decision about what's going to happen. You have real news to disclose.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to wait.
I don't call the press here if I don't have no news to disclose. Well, of course you have to wait, or else no press will show up if I tell you. So let's take a break, Robin.
I don't get a scoop. Don't you care about my news?
I'll whisper it in your ear if you want. Stan Dworkin only wanted me to tell him this morning what my decision was.
I bet.
You know, like a guy running for president.
Yeah.
His consultant.
Yeah, I'm your vice president. You must tell me.
Yeah, in the last hour, I must tell you. I got news for you. If I'm still running, Stan Dworkin will be governor.
You're serious?
I am serious that I would win. I'm at 18, somewhere between 18 and 20% in the polls. There's like a 2% error of margin. Mm-hmm. Margin of error. So... think about it. In a three-way race.
All right, I'm thinking about it.
If by November I go up 10%, the other two schlubs are down. I win. If I have 30% of the vote, what do they have, Robin?
They could have 32.
Right. And consider that. Well, what if I have 32% of the vote? Well, then they lose. All right, we got to take a break. There's too much politics in the air.
Too much figuring.
People want me to run. There's 20% of New York that wants me to be governor.
As I got into the car this morning, the first thing that was said was, oh, geez, it doesn't look like you're going to have a job in Albany. People want you to run. People
I know.
hoped you were serious.
I am. All I can tell you is I am very serious. You don't spend the amount of money that I have spent in legal bills if you are not serious. You would not spend a dime.
Unless you're a dopey.
Unless you're an idiot. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back right after these.
I'm not anything about that. I'm just new to the place. I'm sorry to say that.
Election 94.
What do you say?
The Howard Stern Show.
I missed it. I couldn't follow him for a minute. Something about me.
But he was apologizing, whatever it was.
Yeah. All right, big conference, big press conference at 8:30.
I think this one little statement in the press today about you is very interesting.
What's it say, Robin?
Radio industry people also have speculated that Stern does not want his team of supporting radio players to know how much he earns because their own salaries pale miserably by comparison.
Yeah, I caught that, too.
Nothing like putting a shiv in there and
well, look who wrote
causing dissension. Paul Colford, of course.
You know, it's a funny thing. This guy, Paul D. Colford, who writes for Newsday, I read that, too. I said, boy, am I smart. I said, this guy is amazing. He doesn't have a clue what I make. He bases what I make on a Chicago lawsuit, but of course doesn't realize I don't get that money.
But right in this account, he says he quotes the net profit of your book. Like you get all that money.
Yeah, right. Oh, please. So anyway, well, he doesn't know because
Simon & Schuster just gets bypassed.
Well, he has a book out that nobody's bought, so
he wouldn't know how books.
Paul D. Colford wrote a book. I won't even tell you what it's about, but he wrote a book, and he wanted to. The nerve of this guy he calls up, wants to come on my show and promote it.
Yes.
Why would I do this guy a favor? He's only written mistruths about me for the last, 5 years. He's only attacked me in the press. He's never once come on my show when I've asked him to come on and defend what he says.
Vicious things to say, and won't show up. We have invited him many times to press conferences and so forth, where you could get at him.
Yeah.
And he won't show up in person, or he'll stand in the back of the room and hide and won't tell you he's there.
Yeah, but of course, when it comes to promoting a miserable book that he can't sell, nobody's buying. He'll do anything. He'll do anything.
Dance with the devil.
Yeah. So I, for the first time in my life, was smart. I was very tempted to invite him on the show just to yell at him. And I said, you know what? I'm not even going to do that. I'm not even going to promote this guy. I'm not going to do anything for him because he's done nothing for me except print mistruths. And it's a big story in every paper today. How many gubernatorial candidates do you know who split their time between trying to change laws and asking women their bra size? This is from the Daily News. Sources close to Howard Stern tell us that he is still vacillating, as of yesterday, about whether or not to pull out of the race for governor.
Were you having your sources speak for you?
I told everyone.
Your sources?
I don't know exactly. I think my sources are Dan Flores, publicist, Bob Miller, lawyer, Don Buchwald, super agent, and about 27 other people who were in on this conversation. Now that the court has ruled against his bid for a preliminary injunction, he's trying to get an injunction which would keep him at least temporarily from filing a financial disclosure by August 30th. I'm filing so many things you wouldn't believe it.
There are trees falling in the woods from all the paper.
Stern figures that he's told you everything about his private life. Yes, he's inhaled. Yes, he's done just about everything that everyone else in his generation has done. How many politicians admit to that? His lawyer, Robert Miller, was meeting with him yesterday to decide whether Stern will pull out of the race. Quote, I will advise him that his best option is to press the appeal on the injunction, Miller told us. I don't know.
Press the appeal on the injunction?
You see,
what does that mean?
I sit in these meetings and go, what? I just thought I was running for governor. I thought it was simple. I thought if you wanted to be the governor, you run, you get on a ballot, and people can vote for you.
That's right.
I had no idea financial disclosure. In fact, if you remember, when I first got into this, the big thing was how are you going to overcome the equal time law?
That's what we thought about.
That one I overcame. I figured it all out. I'll talk about that at the press conference. My problem became financial disclosure. Who even knew that this was a problem?
You didn't know that this was going to make an end run around all of your plans.
Well, I thought financial disclosure was that you had to sit and list what companies you do business with, which I have no problem doing.
But I don't understand, even looking at this, what difference it makes if people know this about you.
It makes none. It's just a voyeuristic thing about how much money I have. This is why I will not comply with it.
Because I'm looking here and I'm saying to myself, there's nothing here that anybody needs to know.
No, of course not. This is strictly to say, hey, Howard has this much money. It's a curiosity thing. By the way, look at this. My lawyer, the guy who's advising me, Bob Miller, is the former law partner of Andrew Cuomo. It says here who also happens to be running for governor, but he's not running for governor, Andrew Cuomo.
He's the son of.
Yeah, the son of the guy running for governor. Conceivably, Stern could press it all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court and eventually change the 1987 law.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Howard Stern feels that a candidate should not have to disclose personal financial holdings or net worth, especially those of spouses and children, until after the election.
Now, let me ask you something. Has anybody editorialized as to whether you're right or wrong? They only just slam you simply because you don't want to do it.
No one is editorial. Yes, there's been editorial slamming me saying, oh, gee, what happened, Mr. Private Parts?
Mr. Open.
Mr. Open. And I'm like, wait a second. For the last 20 years that I've been on the radio, I've been asked a million times what I make, and I won't reveal it. I've never revealed that information.
But nobody deals with whether this should be or shouldn't be the law.
No, no one deals with that. No one deals with it.
It's Howard. We want him to do it because he doesn't want to.
No, everyone says. In fact, the guy who, here, I'll tell you right now. See, I'm bringing all this up in the press conference, but this guy, Richard Rifkin, the executive director of the State Ethics Commission, said, he says, hey, I think the public has a right to know about the candidates, investments, and officerships.
Huh?
He says
officership.
He is defending the ethics law, the disclosure law.
But to say...
And I'm saying I agree with him. I believe you have a right to know if I'm doing business with a company. I'm willing to disclose that. Yeah, and I'm willing to list any officerships. I'm the president of this program. How's that? Here's my officership.
Please.
But I'm willing to do that.
Yes.
That's not what the disclosure law does to a person. It basically says, okay, how much money you got? And we're going to announce it to everyone. We're going to announce it to your friends and your family. I don't even want my kids to know if I've got 10 cents or $10 billion.
Because there they go with their hands up.
Yeah, I mean, who wants that? My kids, I want my kids to sort of...
What?
I don't know. My father always kept that stuff private from me, and I always thought it was healthy.
My father was always secretive. I had no idea what he made. I thought we were poor because he never gave me anything.
I mean, well, your father's sitting on the mother load. So, it's weird. And then Newsday, Colford's got me being a multi-billionaire.
Oh, yes, you're rolling in the dough.
Which really helps. And that's sort of, I kind of like that they think I've got all this money because...
Oh, it's good for you.
It's kind of cool. I don't really want people to know.
Yeah, but it's certainly good to have the perception that you're rolling in the buck.
Yeah.
But I'm reading and say, goodness, he should have a bigger house.
I know. It's a really funny thing. My wife and I, at one point about a year ago, were thinking of moving and stuff, and we said, let's go look at houses. And then after the fifth house that I couldn't afford, I said, gee, this is kind of funny for a guy who makes supposedly $15 million a year. I said, well, I should be able to afford any house.
That's right. If you can't afford it, who can?
Yeah, well, that's the trouble with all this. So every article today, Stern's shy about his money. Jeez.
But I see all of them anteing up to disclose what they make.
Yeah, like I've done something wrong, Like this is an odd thing that I don't want to...
That's right. Every year there's a listing in the Daily News and Newsday and the Post as to what everybody makes there.
Yeah. And then here's another headline in the Post. Don't be shocked if Stern drops out today. Speculation that I might be dropping out of the race.
Well, they all think you're running scared.
Yeah, well.
I think that the general consensus is that you were looking for a way to get out.
Why would I do all this to look for a way to get out? I want to run, but my problem is I don't want to disclose. And if I was looking to get out, I just would have said, okay, I'm out, because I wouldn't have gone and hired lawyers and stuff. Why would I do that? These lawyers cost a fortune.
Well, that's the way it seems to me, but everybody seems to think that you work in mysterious ways.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I would have just dropped out. Why do I have to carry on like this?
They also say something about you're not being able to get the needed amount of signatures.
I can get the needed amount of signatures in 1 hour. What do you think of that?
I believe it.
I could make an announcement right now for everyone to come down to the station immediately because I need their help. I would have the signatures in an hour. The signatures are not a problem. That is not my problem. You're on the air in New York. Hello? You're on the air. This guy fell asleep at the phone.
We're listening to him breathe. I'm listening to him.
He's sleeping.
Oh, I love it.
There's a guy sleeping on the phone. That's a first.
Neil, Wake up!
And that'll wake him up. Hey, a-hole. Listen to this. He fell asleep on his phone. Hey, wait a second. He's right there.
I love it. This is the first.
Yeah, I'll lower into the microphone so we can really hear. The dick.
Got the radio on in the background,
Yeah,
everything.
nothing's going to wake him up. Hey, Dick. Dick face.
Oh, I wish we knew who you were.
It's Gary. I called the office.
That's highly possible.
Hello? Hey, Fred, at the press conference, I know we got Gorillo's uncle who has no throat.
Right.
I know he's going to introduce me. Maybe Gary Puppet should introduce him.
Okay, no problem.
Gary Puppet should be at the press conference.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, we can't leave him out of anything. What is it, the real Gary?
He'd be offended.
Right.
There's just a small list of who's coming to hear your announcement today.
Oh, I'd like to hear this list.
All right, let's see. A current affair. Maybe this guy will wake up. I'll leave him up.
Okay.
A current affair. Associated Press. Billboard Magazine. CNN Show Business. El Diario.
El Dario.
What is that again?
That's the Spanish paper, El Dario.
That's the paper that the guy got killed at for exposing Colombian drug lords.
Was
Oh,
he
yeah.
El Dario
Yeah.
or La Prensa?
No, I think it was
El Dario. Entertainment Tonight. Good Day New York.
These aren't the usual political.
No, we're getting to those. We're getting to those.
Hard Copy. Inside Edition. LGI Photo Syndicate. So whenever you see bad pictures of me in the newspaper, you'll know where they got them.
I noticed today they have you standing on a toilet in the paper.
Yeah, that's right. That's at my parents' house, actually. Manhunt Magazine, which is the gay magazine.
Oh, I was going to say, are you a hunter?
By the way, they have a 2-page centerfold spread of Gay Rich, our gay intern.
In Manhunt?
Yeah, very good article.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
He gives some really good dating tips in the article.
Gay Rich.
We
At
have
the
to
very
read
end, it's very
that
funny.
article.
Yeah, and by the way, Gay Rich even has his own special Manhunt phone line so that you can leave a message for him.
For him?
Yeah, it says at the end of the article, if you would like to leave Rich a message, he currently has a mailbox on our Manhunt system.
Let me see. What does his picture look like?
Oh, it's so gay. It is. He looks.
Is that what you've been reading? I didn't know what that little funny book was.
Hey, Robin, I'm a subscriber. All right, I don't want to reveal that either. I subscribe to Manhunt magazine.
I said, what is Howard doing? He's reading for him inside the...
There's just really two cute guys on the cover hugging, and I just thought, like, maybe I should have this.
Howard, how much of that did you read?
About halfway through it.
Because were you aware that you and Rich have become companions?
What are you talking about?
You know, here, let me show you.
Let's see. I see. Does Gay Rich pitch or catch? When did you know? Okay. Richard has become friends with Howard off the air as well,
Really?
and now seeks him out for conversation and companionship around the office. His colleagues call him Stern's gay pet. They do?
I didn't know that.
Who are these colleagues?
Jackie.
The radio persona is a real person, someone who has a wide group of friends and who is not afraid of someone's sexuality.
Who said that?
I think Gay Rich.
Because you're afraid of everything off the air.
I know. I'm locked in a room. As a 21-year-old gay white male, Rich now has the task of representing gay America to a largely white, blue-collar male audience on the hottest daily radio talk show around.
I didn't know Rich was 21. He's only 21?
He's a young boy, only now discovering his full sexuality and his powers.
If you go to, like, the second paragraph from the end, he tells you dating tips for when you go out.
We asked him if he had any more advice for Manhunt readers. He thought a moment. Remember two things when you go out. The bartender's taken, and you're not the bouncer's type. What does that mean?
No,
I don't even know.
Don't go after those two guys because they're
Already spoken for.
yeah, not only that, but they probably get more offers than anybody else.
Oh.
Just leave them alone.
Thank you, Gay Rich.
Decrease the competition.
All right, who else will be at our press conference? Manhunt Magazine, I told you that will be there.
I'm so glad they're covering.
Yeah. New Amsterdam News, the black paper.
All right. Good. Expect to get a good write-up there.
Yeah, they favor me. Listen to
Always
this guy.
on your
Are you
side.
listening to this guy
He's breathing louder, I
Hold
know.
on. I'm going to listen a little more. Oh, wait. Hello? Sir? Sir? Hello? Hello? Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yeah, you're sleeping.
Well, kind of, yeah.
We've been listening.
You've been sleeping on the air.
Hey, that's not impossible then, is it?
We've been listening to you for over 8 minutes.
No way.
Yeah.
I swear.
Did you get me snoring or something?
Yeah, you've been snoring into the phone.
Cool.
What'd you do? You had the phone up to your ear and you're snoring into
And you
it?
fell asleep?
Well, see, this is like really important, you know?
I almost hung up on you, but it was so funny that I kept going. Hey, and by the way, you talk in your sleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you said your wife is a pig.
Well, my ex-wife.
Yeah.
You're still harboring...
I just bleeped your name off. I don't want your name. I don't want your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you can't do that. Okay. Anyway, my name is nothing.
We don't care what your name is. What do you want?
A paper that you're reading from?
Yeah, what do you...
Anyway, I'm working on... Can I say names of things?
All right, goodbye, Scott. I gotta go. You're being a jerk. It was funnier when you were asleep. You have nothing to say.
I have a lot to say.
Yeah, well, stop with names. Just tell me what you want.
I want you to help me recreate history.
All right, thank you for the call. All that for nothing.
Right up that alley.
I bleeped off his name because he was making a jerk out of himself. And then oh, please. And then he starts in with an agenda that's absurd. All right, the Daily News, New York Daily News, New York Post, New York Times, Newsday, Newsweek, Noticias de Mundo.
What?
Spanish. New York One, Reuters, Steppin' Out Magazine, USA Today, Village Voice, WABC TV, CBS TV, NBC TV, Fox Television.
Wait a minute, Howard.
Pix Television.
This is the best coverage we've had.
I know, Channel 9 Television. Because I am going to make a major announcement today.
All of a sudden, everybody who's anybody is coming.
I am a political... Robin, as much as we joke about it, I control 20% of the vote. This is a major...
This is amazing.
This is a major decision I had to make last night.
You might have, the hard copies, the inside editions.
Penny Crone.
Once you're finished with that list...
It got real bad.
Fall right down to Stepping Out Magazine and other supermarket free papers.
Right. No, everyone is coming to hear my announcement.
That's wild.
So I got to take a break. We'll take
In fact, on America's Talking the other day, they have this whole network now that's nothing but talk shows.
Yeah.
Terrible network.
Yeah.
But I did hear your name is like a household word now that people drop into conversation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
They walk along and they say if something's ridiculous, they say, well, if Howard Stern can be governor of New York,
right,
then that's possible too.
And I could be governor of New York. That's the sad part about all of this. Why all these obstacles are being thrown my way is because it's persecution.
Political persecution.
Political persecution.
Where's Amnesty International?
Yeah.
Fighting for your rights.
Right on. We're going to take a little break here, Robin, and then we'll be back right after these words.
Election 94. Are you voting for candidate Howard Stern?
I just don't like the man. I don't like his way of coming across to people.
Election 94.
Yeah, Grandma.
What are you voting for?
Yeah, we just asked you if you want to vote for me. I didn't ask you if you like me. You don't have to like a guy who's competent.
This is the problem. Most people want to just like a person.
Yeah, see? All right, we have a lot of things to decide. First of all, what will the Gary Puppet wear at the press conference? Because Gary Puppet will probably make it on the TV.
Does he have a choice of wardrobe?
Yeah, well, Ralph brought in some clothes. Ralph dresses Gary Puppet. There's an O.J. Simpson T-shirt that someone sent in that we could put on. But I think for a press conference, we actually have like a jacket and tie for Gary Puppet and a Howard Stern for Governor button.
So you think he should dress more politically correct?
Right. For the press conference. I'm wearing a jacket. Gary Puppet should wear a jacket. Fred, what are the choices? A shirt and tie or the O.J. shirt?
Right.
Is that it?
That's it at this point.
What were you and Ralph discussing during commercials that Ralph can actually design? What was he
going to work on some T-shirts. I have some ideas for some different T-shirts and stuff. So he's going to get some type of special paints to draw the T-shirts up with.
Okay.
It should be fun.
Yeah, I know Ralph designed a little banana that he can hold.
Yes, Ralph and I have a little contest. I feed you all the hate mail about him, and then he dresses the puppet.
Right. Goes back and forth.
Interesting war.
Yeah, it's really funny. As soon as there's another Ralph hate letter, boom, Gary's right here with it. Here, Wolf, look at this.
Good Wolf.
I hate Ralph.
As soon as Gary writes up another hate letter.
I'll put the Gary Puppet in the shirt and tie, and then tomorrow he can wear his O.J. T-shirt.
Okay.
All right. I love the Gary Puppet.
Well, I love OJ.
By the way, next week, in a future show, the Gary puppet will go to a puppet dentist.
Is that right?
That's right, and he will try to fix
cap those teeth.
Wait till you see what happens. Wait till you see the hijinks. I'm not going to give away too much of the story. Don't miss it. Right. Tune in. Tune in on our E! Show for that. By the way, speaking of our E! Show, I have a lot of stuff to get to because at 7:30 we have a guest. It's a woman who slept with Elvis Presley. We'll contact Elvis Presley while she is here.
Oh, wonderful.
So he can confront her.
To Elvis about.
That's right. And also ask Elvis about his daughter marrying.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
You can talk to him about this woman as well as Lisa Marie.
Yeah, so there's going to be some interesting things going on. So we only have a half hour now to squeeze everything in, and I have a lot of agenda to go through with you before the big press conference. Stuff like, what will the Gary puppet wear? But speaking about our E! Show, more and more cable systems are adding the E! channel to your, to your cable.
I have noticed that. People are faxing and saying, we finally can get the show.
There are a couple of weird things going on. For example, out on Long Island, Cablevision, where I live, will not give us the E! channel.
They're holding firm.
They're holding firm. My father called. And he started complaining. I didn't know he was doing this. He didn't call up as my father. He called up just as a guy who's a subscriber and said, hey, he really wants the E! channel. He wants to see the show. Part of me is glad he doesn't get it, but he wants to see the show.
Why would you be glad he doesn't get it?
Who needs more critiquing and more analysis? I mean, I need less of that in my life, not more.
They don't critique the show, do they?
Well, it's like my father never gets it, so the other day he was over the house. He says, let me see the Gary puppet.
Oh.
So I sit him down with me, and he's watching, and he's laughing, but then all of a sudden he had to get up and leave the room. So I go, oh, man, I guess he didn't like it. Yeah, I go, oh, he doesn't like the Gary puppet. And I don't need to sit and guess if my father likes Gary puppet or
better
not.
He should be able to watch it in his own home, though,
right,
rather than having to watch it with you.
Who knows? But I'm not showing it to him anymore. I have to go upstairs with your mother and watch the baby. I go, in the middle of the Gary puppet?
That's a very strange reaction.
Yeah, well, he was supposed to come over and help my mother watch the baby. Allison was out of the house.
But the point is, he asked you to look at that. Why would he all of a sudden jump up?
Who knows? Maybe he was bored. I don't know. So, hey, the guy's 71 years old.
You have a very strange family.
Yeah. Odd family. Now you know why I'm glad they don't get the E! Show. I'm particularly glad my wife doesn't get the E! Show.
Well, that I think should be corrected. She should get the E!
Oh, please. What did that girl look like?
I would like her to be able to see the reality.
Let me
see. Of hearing your interpretation.
Let me see. That'll put us right in divorce court. Let me. Can I see a tape of you spanking those girls? Yeah, great.
Do you remember seeing a picture of that girl who was in here yesterday?
No.
Never saw that picture.
No. If I did, it was a different one. Anybody watch the TV show last night and watch that girl? Anyway, so my father calls up to find out about the E! channel in his home, and they say to him, look, it's not our fault.
Whose fault is it? It's not the cable company's fault.
No. Can you imagine? This is America today. Nobody's at blame. Even in court. You run over someone with your car, they go, listen, I was an abused child. I didn't know.
The company made brakes that don't work or gas pedal stuck.
Nobody's ever at fault. So Cablevision goes, it is not our fault. Let us explain it to you this way, Mr. Customer. Evidently, they're getting so many calls, they just tell you a story. The cable company is like an apartment building. And each channel buys a space in the apartment building. They buy a condo. The E! channel doesn't want to buy space. We have offered them space. They don't want to buy space on our channel. Now, you know that's a load of bull. I called up the E! channel. I said, is this true? They go, of course not. We've had proposal after proposal with them to get the E! channel on. So
what is this about a fee?
I don't know. Maybe they want E! to pay them to go on the cable system. And what is that C-SPAN that I get? I mean, what is C-SPAN? That is the worst channel I've ever seen. Everybody gets that. Why is that? Are they paying a fee? I doubt it. They can't be.
No, I think it's mandatory that you carry C-SPAN.
Yeah. C-SPAN. We get C-SPAN too.
Yeah,
come on. Now, what do you have, Paragon?
No, Time Warner.
Time Warner. Time Warner. Well, all I know is Paragon. Is that in the city also?
Yes, it's above 86th Street.
So Paragon, E sent them some promos to play for our show.
Yes.
I think it's Paragon. I got to check it. But they said to E, we won't run Howard's promos. While we run the show, we won't run the promos because Howard says bad things about cable. Can you imagine? I'm the only one talking about cable.
These cable companies are outrageous.
Yeah, only I'm talking bad things about cable. Can you imagine?
You know what they're probably
amazing.
You know what they're probably talking about? That used to be my cable system, and we used to talk on the air. You know,
about how bad the service was.
Like I know, like Steve Leeds used to work for MTV, and he had Paragon cable, and he had to cancel it because he couldn't watch. MTV would flutter in and out of stereo. You couldn't even listen to it.
Yeah, you're not allowed to criticize Paragon cable.
They're dictators.
Yeah, so they will now make sure that you don't see Howard Stern promos on the air.
So much for freedom of speech.
Yeah. Paragon cable. Paragon, because they are the paragons of the cable industry. That cable thing, if the government really wanted to look into something, forget about all the garbage the FCC looks into.
Forget about us.
Yeah,
There's real problems with cable.
You know, people's lives are very simple. They want a couple of things in their life. They want really good television. They want as many channels as they can get.
Even if there's nothing on.
Even if there's nothing on, they just want television.
Even if it's one animal show after another.
Right. They want animal shows and insects eating each other.
and cooking shows.
And religious programming. But people want all of the diversity of these channels. They want to be able to get to work in a reasonable amount of time. And on weekends, they want to be able to travel to the beach or something without having to be in 17 hours of traffic.
All people want is comfort.
Yeah, they want some comfort in their lives. They don't want...
And escape.
Right. They're talking about health care. They're talking about... Now, average working guy wants some cable, as much of it as he can get, in a good, solid picture, state-of-the-art, and be able to get to work. This is what people want. 9 or 10 hours a day revolve around television for me. So I want a good television with a lot of channels. Last night I had the president on. When I got sick of him, I was right over to Star Trek. Fantastic.
You were a happy man.
I was a happy man. And I even was watching a little Beverly Hills 90210, a little rerun there. I had everything going on. The whole world was at my fingertips. Who needs a wife when you got that? Who needs it?
You don't need anyone else but your television.
No, so this is an important thing to most people, even though they don't like to admit it. And these cable companies got us by the balls. So anyway, that's the latest on the cable E-television front. But the show continues to grow, and we are the #1 show on the E-network, Rob.
Wonderful. I hear, every time I turn around, they're talking about that gossip show and how good it is.
Well, you mean on the promos?
No, when they tell you, they say, oh, we got phenomenal ratings on this gossip show.
No. We have phenomenal ratings. The gossip show has no ratings.
Okay.
All right.
Because I was beginning to wonder, well, if that gossip show is so good, what have we done?
No. Whatever they've done, we've topped it. And we've topped David Letterman reruns.
Good.
And don't forget, our show airs 3 times a night.
Yes.
And even with that, it's still #1. Don't forget, if you only ran it once, our rating would be much higher. Because people would only have to be able to tune in once.
I see what you're saying.
All right. Also, on the O.J. front, a small article in the paper today that this so-called bombshell witness who was going to clear O.J., it's a little tiny article now, bombshell witness, a dud. Turns out he's some dude.
He's a guy who calls the police every time there's a big case and says he has pertinent information.
Yeah, so there's your I mean, come on already. Let's come to our senses. String up OJ. With that, I'll play the song. How's that? Because I do want to get another play on that. Everybody loves this song. People keep begging me to play it. This is the OJ song sung by the Tokens.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily feel this way, but they were willing to sing it to get on the show. Here they are, the Tokens and the OJ song.
He's so guilty, we can't free OJ. He's so guilty, we can't free OJ. Let's string 'em up, 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 hey up, let's string 'em 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 up. In a jail cell, a tiny jail cell, OJ can't sleep tonight. Snow White women, he'll use his left hand, and then he'll use his right. On the sidewalk, the bloody sidewalk, the OJ sliced his wife. He was crouching and he'll be slouching with his 12-inch knife. We can't free OJ. We can't free OJ. We know he knifed them, he really sliced them, and we must make him pay. He beat and stalked her as others corked her, though most blacks say no way. Ronald Goldman and Nicole Simpson sleep in the ground tonight. We should beat you, then let dogs eat you, for what you did's not right. We can't free OJ. We can't free OJ. Play it for me. Like a turkey, OJ that jerky carved up his young white wife. Annihilate him, 'cause we all hate him. With glee we'll end his life. He just keeps lying, but no one's buying. His blood was everywhere. Don't let him off, chop his limbs off, set fire to his hair. We can't free OJ. We can't free OJ. We can't free OJ. Let's string him up.
Wow.
The views expressed in this parody are not necessarily those of the members of the Tokens.
Right.
I can ask everybody to be quiet for a moment. We have on the phone with us as well Robert Higgins, who lives in the neighborhood and is on the ground and can see inside the van. Mr. Higgins.
Yes, how are you?
Just about as tense as you are, sir.
Oh, my Lord, this is quite the tensest.
What can you see?
Oh, what I'm looking at right now is I'm looking at the van, and I see OJ kind of slouching down, looking very, very upset. Now, looky here, he look very upset. I don't know what he gonna be doing.
Can you see him doing anything specific? Is he merely sitting there?
He is just sitting around, just looking like he'd be very nervous.
Can you hear anything, Mr. Higgins?
It's just too much commotion. I'd be in the back of a news van, so I can't really hear that good, but I can see it all. And I see OJ, man, and he looks scared. And I would be scared because there's cops all deep in this.
Thank you, Mr. Higgins.
And Baba Booey to y'all.
The driveway of O.J. Simpson's home in Brentwood. Clearly an effort being made to have him come out of the vehicle. In the doorway of the house, his friend, Al Cowling.
Peter, by the way, just for the record, this is Al Michaels. That was a totally farcical call. Lest anybody think that was somebody who was truly across the street. That was not. He said something in code at the end that's indicative of the mentioning of the name of a certain radio talk show host.
Okay, thanks, Al.
So he was not there.
All right, we have them on every coast. Thank you very much. Not the first time nor the last time will have been had, but... That's it.
Huzzah! Back with with a man whose wife
Marry
would
Michael
never
Finch.
cut off his private part
me wench.
because a nail clipper would do the job just fine.
Jackie Platinum joke page. Thank you. Jackie Platinum joke page Martling to order Jackie's CD, The Joke Man. Only $10 plus $3 shipping and handling. Price includes 20-page Jokeland catalog. Call 1-800-323-5464. Hurry up, Jackie. Running out of those. And tomorrow night, Jackie will be at the Annapolis Comedy Club. It's just about all sold out. Oh, both shows totally sold out.
Oh, then don't say it anymore.
Nah, he wants to brag.
Frustrate people.
What are you bragging on that?
Well, they asked me to make this announcement because
I see.
they turn a lot of people away.
Oh,
so now they're announcing so people stop calling.
For those of you who can't go, here's a little, what you're going to miss. Here's Jackie.
No, they're rescheduling for 2 more shows in January.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, so Jackie will be back.
Friday the 13th.
Oh, tickets now on sale for January 13th, 1995. For information and dirty jokes, call 516-922-WINE.
They're very excited.
That's a little bit of what's going to... All right, I don't want to give away too much of his act, but that's some of what you're going to be hearing.
Still make those?
South Philly Blunt?
A fat Philly blunt is what he was saying.
Oh, Fat Philly Blunt.
Yes, like you don't know. You just
Fat Philly Blunt is a cigar. It's where I stick my marijuana. All right, very good. Okay.
He even laughs when he says his name.
Yeah. Turn it off. You give me a headache with that. All right, very good.
Is that on that CD, too? You can pick it up.
There's a woman who just wrote a book about Elvis. I want to get to it in 1 second, but I got to play a quick piece of tape because we got a lot to cram in this morning with the press conference at 8:30. You got to hear this. You know, this drives me nuts. Yes, I am on the front page of the news today, Newsday anyway. And
you're in all the papers.
I'm in all the papers about my big press conference today. But I really, this is a bigger story than me. I wish the press would concentrate on stuff like this. Although, I do like the attention.
You're not really willing to give it up.
This guy who got shot by these abortion nuts, these pro-life, as they call themselves.
Paul Hill is his name, I think.
Yeah, it's a little weird calling yourself pro-life after you kill somebody in cold blood. A guy who's and the guy who did the killing, is a guy with a wife and a family.
Yeah.
I think these abortion kooks, these pro-life kooks, get caught up in this party atmosphere. You know, they get together, they get involved. It suddenly takes losers and makes them, part of a whole crowd. They're part
people
of
are listening to them.
Yeah, people are listening to them. They get on TV.
They got an agenda.
Yeah, and they get carried away and they shoot.
But you have to wonder now, what is that guy doing? He's trying to get out of the house.
Yeah.
He's got a wife and a family, and instead of being there taking care of him, now he's in jail.
Yeah, so anyway, he's so pro-life he kills the doctor. Now, listen to this. So they have a funeral for the doctor, right?
The guy's funeral was yesterday.
At the funeral, some jackasses from the pro-life movement go there and start protesting, parading up and down with signs. They're parading with signs. They're protesting outside right outside this guy's funeral. Have they no shame?
There are people going in to mourn their loss and to grieve over this man and to say goodbye.
So listen to this. The protesters start arguing. Their stupid abortion arguments, their stupid fairy tale abortion arguments. They start arguing with the people who are grieving. Listen to this. I got some tape of it. You got to hear it. It's going to make you nuts.
You're very disrespectful. Of what? A baby murderer? Listen, would you guys plant his body in the ground? Every septic tank in this society is going to come up out of the ground and refuse to be vaulted in the ground with that baby murderer.
You have a direct link to God, right? I doubt it.
Are you clairvoyant?
I doubt it. I doubt that God knows you.
You're clairvoyant. Most witches are.
So this is, these pro-life... You get to hear who's really involved in this. This is why I hated George Bush. He was kowtowing to these imbeciles. Are you clairvoyant? Most witches are. I mean, this is like arguing with Goober. This is Goober or Ernest T.
And this guy's supposed to be a preacher. He's a preacher.
Yeah. Well, most witches are. This is why they're into preaching, so they could, Easter Bunny says that you're clairvoyant and Santa Claus.
This guy would have been burning witches.
Yeah.
Back in the good old days.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who's totally out of it.
And the doctor who was killed was Dr. John Britton. I gave him the wrong name.
Here he is harassing more.
What's wrong is that terrorists like you are allowed to roam the streets.
Lady, you got 35 million babies to your credit. We killed 2 of you, and you got 35 million babies.
This is outside the guy's funeral. This is what makes me want to puke.
And they're proud of it. We only killed 2 of you.
Yeah.
They're taking credit.
A little difference. Yeah. Those are the same people who go to Twitty City. You know what I mean? Like, they spend a week there in Conway Twitty's backyard looking for entertainment. Just, they're low. There is levels of people. You must understand this. There are all levels of humanity. There is not one level of humanity. We are not all equal. There are some people who are dumb. They're retarded. For whatever reason, they're deficient. And not only are they deficient mentally, which I don't mind, I'd allow them to live if they're deficient mentally, but they're angry.
And dangerous.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
They are just smart enough to hold a gun.
You don't need a trial to know that that guy is guilty of something.
He is... Lock him up now.
Lock him up.
Before he hurt somebody.
Lock him up. Do away with him. Let me go through the streets and pick out those that are dangerous to our society. Allow me to do it. You know I have the ability.
I'm afraid you'll shoot me.
Oh, no. I like you. I need you.
Suppose you didn't know me.
Then I might shoot you. Anyway, what can I tell you? Listen, let me take a short little break here, and then we're going to meet. Let me tell you who we're going to meet. I am going to contact Elvis also today, because I want to know what Elvis thinks of this marriage between his daughter and Michael Jackson.
There was a cartoon in the paper yesterday that I thought was kind of apropos. They showed Lisa Marie and Michael Jackson at the grave of Elvis, and Michael had his ear down on the ground, and the caption was, "It sounds like spinning."
Well, the book is called My Love Affair. This is a woman who actually made love to the king.
There's a whole book in there?
I love it. I love the pictures in this. Yeah, there's a whole book in this, and I love the pictures because...
He must have been some lover.
I always thought it was funny when Elvis got a hold of a woman.
Yeah, and had his makeover.
Yeah.
Elvis used to do makeovers.
Hold
he
this
was
up.
the first makeover artist.
Yeah, let me hold this up to the camera. Here is this gorgeous woman, Joyce Bova. Obviously a hot piece of ass. That
You're showing her before?
This is before Elvis gets a hold of her.
Okay.
Here she is in her swimsuit, and she's gorgeous. You can see. I mean, beautiful.
Very beautiful
Very
woman.
natural hairstyle, the whole thing. Elvis gets a hold of her, and he insisted on taking every woman and giving them the long jet black hair and the big thick eye makeup.
Right.
All right, so Elvis is so gaudy, and he insists his women are gaudy. Look at what he turns her into. He starts to begin the transformation.
Yeah, I thought she was Priscilla when I saw that.
Yeah, and every woman he makes identical. And then finally Elvis throws in the headband. And
that puffy hair.
The puffy hair, and then puts about the big eyeliner and eyelashes.
And look at him. Ooh.
She looks like Yvonne DiCarlo.
She didn't even get the good-looking Elvis.
No.
She got the big, fat, bloated Elvis.
Yeah. Well, listen. Nevertheless, she slept with the king. And not only will I interview her, but I would hope, Robin, when I go into my trance and become Elvis.
Yeah.
That
he will interview her,
That's
too?
right.
They could reminisce, actually.
Right.
If they had actual moments together. She has all those pictures.
And if I make love to her as Elvis, is that cheating on my wife? Because
because Elvis is in your body. He's simply using your equipment.
Then by all means, let us take a short break and then meet Joyce Bova right after these words.
I love him. I think he's great. Just be more for the gay folks.
Election 94 on the Howard Stern Show.
What'd she say? I was busy thinking about Elvis.
Something about what? More for the gay folks.
I'm not sure. I'll have to go check that one.
Yeah, what did that say?
I don't know. I'll have to go check.
More for the gay folks.
Listen, I have to. Our guest is already just a little bit upset.
Why?
She wants to make a correction, Robin. She absolutely did not date the fat, bloated Elvis.
Really?
Oh, he looked fat and bloated.
She dated the skinny, in-shape Elvis that she wanted to point out.
Hey, Robin, what do you know?
I looked at that picture. I didn't think that was the good-looking Elvis.
No, let me see. Hold on a second.
She might have thought he was pretty good.
No, look how skinny he is there.
Wait a minute. Let me
you are
come
wrong.
over and look.
Look, study that picture.
But just show me the other picture.
Okay. This vest does not compliment Elvis's form. Look at that vest and belt.
See what
Where
I'm
is
talking
Joyce?
about?
Now, tell Joyce I'm going to contact Elvis. She's got to be excited.
Thrilled.
Is she?
I don't know.
Maybe it's those clothes, but he looks fat to me.
I don't know, but she looks nice to me.
Well, she's going to correct that when she comes in.
All right, anyway.
No problem. I didn't sleep with either Elvis.
Maybe we should meet Joyce first as Howard, and then when I contact Elvis.
Yeah. Because that could be frightening and shocking. Maybe you should get her prepared.
I don't know. I've never contacted Elvis in front of somebody before.
Who's known him, actually.
Yeah, right.
Well, wait a second. We had Elvis's brother in here.
That's right.
You contacted Elvis for him?
No, I don't believe I did. Gary doesn't again know what he's talking about.
No, I do know it. I'm just trying to make it look good.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I never know what he's talking about.
I'm lying to help you.
You're lying to help me. You don't have to lie to help me.
You're lying to confuse us.
What, is Joyce nervous about coming in here?
A little.
What is she so... Bring her in here.
She slept with the king. She wasn't nervous.
She should be nervous about being with the king, not about...
We're simpletons.
We don't know anything. This is Joyce Bova. She got to nail the king.
Hey, I'm jealous. Maybe that's why I'm making a big deal.
No, you never nailed any king.
I loved Elvis.
Closest you ever came...
He was one of the most gorgeous human beings.
Closest you ever came to nailing anyone famous was Troy Roberts, who does the news. And you never got Joyce, you look a little shaky. Come on in here, baby. Don't
be afraid of us.
Come on in here, baby. Don't be nervous. Please. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Hi.
Look at you. You look very... I can see why the king was into you. I can see why the king immediately needed you.
Thank you.
I can't wait to contact the king. Maybe he'll want a little kiss. Who is a more handsome man, myself or the king?
Oh, boy. At what period of time?
Right now.
Right now you are.
I am. Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
You put it in this time.
Joyce, how did you come to meet the king?
Well, I met him back in 1969, August, and I have to correct Robin. At that time, he was making his comeback to live performances.
Oh, and that was a good time. That was a good time.
And so he was at the peak
He'd been dieting.
of his career.
Yes, he was skinny and wearing leather pants on that.
He looked great.
Yeah, he looked real good then.
Beautiful and vibrant and, at the peak of his popularity and very happy with himself.
Hey, let me describe you to the audience. You're a good-looking version of Cher. Cher's falling apart.
You think Cher's a bad-looking version of herself?
Yes. Have you ever been told that?
Maybe once or twice, but
once or twice?
I would be very flattered.
Yeah, and you got some body on you. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Cher would want that body.
Right? What do you work out? Do you work out?
Not really.
You still wear a bathing suit like you do in that picture?
Sometimes.
And
really?
you don't work out?
Not really.
What are you, a dancer?
Wow. I do dance.
Yeah, you're like a ballerina body. Yeah, I wouldn't lie and get my hands on that. And the king, you say the king actually had full sexual intercourse with you? Because the king, as you know, did not enjoy sexual intercourse.
Not with mothers.
Right. Well, no.
What?
First of all, at the time, she was not a mother, of course.
Well, of course not.
And secondly, the king wouldn't even enjoy sexual intercourse with, like, regular
with
girls.
A woman?
Yeah.
No. Come on.
Am I right or am I wrong? The king did not enjoy sexual intercourse.
I don't know about other women. I can only speak from my own experience, Howard.
Well, there you go again.
See?
Yeah. Everybody always speaks from their own experience.
Darn.
Well,
except you.
Yeah.
You speak from others.
Yeah, how come I know everything? Let's back up before we get to sexual intercourse.
Okay.
And feel free to lie to make the story good.
I think it'll be a pretty good story anyway.
Oh, you do?
If there's sex in it, how could it be better?
All right. When do we get to the sex? I might get amorous in here. You might be in danger. You married?
No.
Oh,
no,
good.
Not.
All right. So,
Have you ever been married?
No.
Who could replace the king?
Was the king that good in the sack?
Maybe the rest of us haven't been that good. I don't know.
You never married?
No, I never.
Shocking. Woman like you?
Well, I came close a couple of times, but I just didn't make that big step, I guess.
Did the king want to marry
giving up.
Did the king want to marry you?
He asked me to move into Graceland.
He did?
Yes.
I see. Well, that's almost marriage.
Yes. And, I considered that. I seriously considered it.
Yeah. I would marry you.
But I didn't want to give up. I don't know if Robin could probably understand. I didn't want to give up what independence I had.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well,
no, she's absolutely right. Look, you go into Graceland, you never come out.
Oh, please. All that money?
Exactly.
All that money would be in the way of that independence. All right, now listen to me. Joyce, how did you come to meet the king? You were at where?
I was at the International Hotel in Las Vegas.
All right.
And he was making his appearance there at the first one.
And what were you doing there? Were you specifically there to see Elvis?
Well, I was there on vacation. I had just started a new career on Capitol Hill. I work in Washington for the House of Representatives.
Right.
And we were having a grueling schedule, and we tried to...
And you were a young girl at the time? How old were you?
I was 24.
24.
And you went to Las Vegas for a vacation. You didn't even go to see the king.
Now, I would say at 24 years old, you were a 36C, 24, 36, just looking at you in this bathing suit. Well, I'm looking at the bathing suit. Am I correct? Are you a C cup?
No.
Oh, come on. That's a C. That's no miracle bra on you. Look at that. Look at these, Robin. Look at those right there in that picture.
What are those?
Those are a C. Are those not a C?
But maybe you know better than I do, Howard.
Those are B's?
No. Yeah.
Really?
So little. She's tiny.
You know what it is? You're so thin that your B's look like C's.
Oh,
God bless you. Yeah. God bless you. Thank you. Do you ever sleep with Elvis impersonators to keep the dream alive?
Oh.
Never. What is wrong with that?
How could you say an Elvis impersonator is like
Obviously,
Elvis?
the woman is still in love with Elvis. All right. Now, wait a second. So you're 24 years old, and you're really hot. I mean, obviously, you've turned a few heads with that
now,
body.
what are you wearing?
Oh, the outfit
right now, she's wearing.
that night?
No,
yeah, that night. No, wait a second. So wait a second. Before we get to what you're wearing, you get to
Las
Vegas, and you hear Elvis Presley is performing.
Oh.
And one of Elvis's guys invites you to the show?
Well, we were standing in line.
Yes.
Waiting to see his show, and the line was all the way through the hotel, out the casino and through the door. And a gentleman came up to us and started talking to us, and then he said that he worked for the hotel, and would we like to go back and meet Elvis backstage?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, give me a couple minutes to think about it.
All right. Yes, you want to meet Elvis. All right. Now, had you been a virgin at this point? Were you a virgin?
I can't remember.
Oh, that means you were not. You had given up your sexuality, haven't you? You were 24 years old. You've been around the block a few times.
Well, maybe not a few, but...
A couple of guys are taking you for a test drive, no? Come on.
What is she, a jalopy?
No, because the king loved a virgin. He always loved a virgin.
Well,
yeah.
Tell me, my darling, have you
No,
virgin?
this is true.
Am I right? I know. I slept with the king, too. I'm writing a book myself.
Yes.
Now... So had you been with anyone else, like Ricky Nelson or any of the other superstars? No.
Oh, I had met other stars, but I mean, no one ever had an impact on me like Elvis. He was so different.
He certainly was.
Not at all pompous or arrogant or trying to impress me. Like some people.
Were his bathing habits bad?
Beg your pardon?
Bathing habits bad? Did he smell?
No.
He did not. When he took off his clothes, you didn't catch a whiff?
Oh.
No, come on. We've all heard this. Okay, all right. Very good. This is interesting.
That was at the time he was bathing. She got him during the bathing sin period.
The best time.
All right, so Elvis was disappointed probably that you weren't a virgin. True or false?
No, he thought I was a virgin.
He did. You told him you were a virgin.
I didn't have to tell him anything.
Let me tell you something. Elvis was stupid. He thought any girl in pantyhose was a virgin. I'm telling you. Yeah, right? Am I correct?
That was the barrier he thought you had to get through.
Right. He goes, I can't get through. Must be virgin. That was pantyhose.
Oh.
No.
A little unkind.
Oh, come on. We're just kidding about the king. The king can't hear any of this.
Thank goodness.
I believe me. He loves me, the king. If he was around, he would be a big fan. I believe so. Yes, I believe so.
Mm-hmm. You think he would have come in and taken this mess?
I think he'd come in and beat the crap out of me. What do you think of that? Yeah, but hey, I could probably take him out.
Oh, he knew karate, though.
Yeah, he knows karate like I know karate. Could barely lift his leg. Am I correct?
No.
King did. Oh, he did know karate?
Yes, he's a black belt.
All right, take it easy. I had heard he bought the black belt, but what do I know? Hey, listen.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
So, you go backstage after the concert.
Or is this before the concert?
Before the concert.
Before.
And they figure, hey, this is a hot number.
Well, that's why I want to know what she's wearing, because
That's what I'm getting to the next question.
How come this guy came to her in the line?
All right. Now, what were you wearing?
Well, I had bought a brand new outfit for that evening.
Mini pants?
No, actually, bell bottoms. Hugger pants, bell bottoms, but it was all gold and beaded sequins. And it was gorgeous. It was brand new.
Was that you belching?
Yes.
Oh.
That's what the king would do when he ate his sauerkraut and potatoes.
I didn't know what it was.
That was disgusting. All right, so anyway, so Elvis takes a look at you in this outfit. Obviously, under those tight pants, you could even be wearing underpants. Am I correct? You were not wearing panties that night? Do you wear panties? Were you wearing panties the night you met Elvis? Yes or no? No.
Pantyhose.
Oh, you were wearing pantyhose. Oh, you did think you were a virgin.
They were already in fashion.
All right, so you get there, and Elvis takes a look at you, and he's in love, right? Va 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 voom. And you feel, hey, listen, I'm a princess. You're a good-looking girl.
What did Elvis say?
Elvis is worth my time. What did Elvis say when he saw your vision?
He said, it's a pleasure to meet you, when I was introduced to him.
But is he a little shy? Does he go like this? It's a pleasure to meet you. Does he do that? That boyish charm?
Does he call you Miss or Ma'am?
Did he call you Missy?
No, he called me Joyce. But
Mr.
he
Joyce?
did have that boyish charm.
Were you with other girls and all the other girls were jealous?
I was with a girlfriend.
Right.
She was with me.
Was she as hot as you, or?
She was beautiful blonde.
Really?
Elvis didn't like blonde.
No, he didn't like blonde, thank goodness.
Like girls with dark hair.
He did like
so
brunette.
So how did you end up sleeping with him that night?
No,
All right.
no.
Elvis always took his time. Always knew how to treat a lady.
Exactly. He was
George.
a gentleman, and he invited me back, and actually he pursued me and courted me for a long time, and the first time
kept calling you,
sending flowers.
Yes, he did all these beautiful, lovely things.
So how many months before you actually go on a date?
Well, the next time that I had seen him was in Las Vegas, and we had a huge, big fight.
Well, what is it? He flew you out to the show?
Yes, to Las Vegas.
I see. And he flies you out, and you had a fight with the king?
Yes. And
About what?
I walked out on him. Well,
he wanted you.
And I decided, okay, it was time for me to stay with him. I wanted the relationship to go any further. And, I mean, I was falling in love with him. I was in love with him.
Why not?
And so...
Listen, between him or some of these other skivos...
Yeah, who else are you going to fall in love with?
Right, exactly.
The clerk down the hall at the water cooler?
Yeah.
Right.
Right, exactly. No wonder she never got married.
That's
She was stuck with the king. Once you have that kind of excitement in your life, you're ruined. Right? You're ruined for other men.
Well, don't you always talk about Elvis now? You know, your first time you date you're talking about Elvis.
Hey, listen, look at May Pang. We know her. She slept with John Lennon.
That's right.
She's married now with kids. She's still talking about John Lennon. To her husband, she's talking about John Lennon. And her husband's no slouch. He produced a record or something.
Records.
And meanwhile, he pales in comparison.
Actually, most people do pale in comparison to Elvis. I mean, he's going to outlive all of us.
So why did you have a fight? Because the king was frustrated that he couldn't get anything off you?
No. He asked me to go into his bedroom, which I did, and meet him there.
Right.
And then everyone was dismissed from.
And you must have been blown away by the purple cushions and the beautiful...
Well, it was a lovely... Yes, in Las Vegas.
Yes,
he had a whole huge suite. And...
would he greet you in his sweat outfit? You know, his eagle jumpsuit and full regalia?
He wasn't doing that at that time,
he was out. Oh, yeah. But he was out of his costume at that
He's
point.
like Superman.
And in his regular Elvis Presley clothes, which were just
jeans.
as elaborate.
Right. Oh, just as elaborate. Yes, go ahead.
Always dressed the part.
His karate outfit, yes.
He was always Elvis.
He was always Elvis.
And didn't you think it was a little weird that he dressed that way and everything?
No.
You liked it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was Elvis.
Call me a nut.
I mean, it's like, you know, if you cut your hair.
Exactly.
Did he always wear those sunglasses?
He was just like...
Really? Just like the king? And those were called TCB sunglasses. Taking care of business sunglasses.
Taking care of business, baby.
Well, they were EP. They had his initials, EP.
Oh, is he in love with himself? All right, now, you get into the room, and Elvis says, baby...
Lay down.
Lay down and spread him. Something like that. Something romantic.
Well...
Lay down, I gotta have you, I gotta be with you. And you hadn't even kissed up until this point or anything?
Oh, yes.
You had?
He kissed me.
He did. Did he French kiss or just regular kiss you at this point?
Just regular kiss.
Regular kiss, never slid his tongue.
No foreplay, no, nothing, huh?
Just little kisses for his little missing.
And petting.
This was going to be our first evening.
This was the big night. Yeah. And you knew, and you were psychologically prepared.
Yeah.
You brought your lingerie with you.
And your birth control.
All right. What birth control had you brought with you? Were you on the pill at the time?
No.
What were you going to have? Rubbers or?
There's so. You haven't read my book.
Of course not. That's why I'm getting into it.
Here.
I can't read. I'm an idiot.
He's going to take that phonics course.
There was every kind of birth control laid out for you?
No.
What?
No, Elvis was not like that.
You were on the diaphragm.
No, Howard, no.
He had the coil.
Did you have the coil?
I wasn't, I guess, very well informed at that point in my life. It was a long time ago, 25 years ago, and I was...
Coitus interruptus.
24.
Coitus interruptus.
You were using the rhythm method with the king?
Why not? Maybe if she got pregnant, you would have really... Imagine having Elvis's child.
Well, she did get pregnant.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That much I do know. Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting. What happened? You aborted the king's baby?
Why would you do
Are you
that?
sorry you did that? Of course.
Well, no. I can't...
Really?
I can't live with regrets like that.
Oh, are you kidding me? You would have had the mother
load.
Why
would you do
I didn't think about that.
Oh, yes. You really were in love with him.
Yes.
She was. If she aborted the king's baby, she loved him.
That's love?
Of course. Most
don't
women
get
would
that.
just have it so they could get the money. He's, no, baby, I can't have another baby out of wedlock.
Only Lisa Marie.
Only Lisa Ballou Presley. Lisa, my lovely Lisa. No kidding. So what, he made you get the abortion?
Well, it was not directly. When I approached him about it to tell him about
it. He freaked.
Well, we got into a discussion, and he went into his, a dissertation on how once a woman is a mother...
Oh, that was it.
Oh.
And appealing. So, I mean, I had to either
get rid of it.
It was the baby or Elvis.
I would have kept the baby.
Maybe in retrospect.
Yeah, might have been the way to go. Oh, man. Can you imagine all the...
That's half of 150 million.
Yeah. You would have been one controlling heir of that thing. You would, if you got the kid under control. All you have to do is get your kid under control, like Lisa Marie's mother. Take him to Scientology, get him under control, marry him off to Michael Jackson.
Well, I guess I couldn't even get Elvis under control, so I don't know.
Right. So anyway, here we are, the romantic night, and suddenly, why are you fighting? You were ready? You had brought a peignoir with you?
Well, when we got back in his room, I mean, he seemed very nervous and fidgety, and I was a little nervous, and I think...
What's with that guy? Something was wrong with him, I'm telling you. Why is he nervous about it?
No drugs in
there? He was very shy.
Was he on drugs at that time?
Yes.
Well, at that point,
he had control over his bowel?
To me.
At one point in his life, he did not have control over his bowel.
That's what we heard.
That is true.
No, I'm sure not in the point in time when I...
You saw no evidence of that?
Him. No. But
Thank God.
I think one problem that I may have been a little nervous is because... although he had told me over and over again that he wasn't married, because I was really concerned about his marriage.
Right.
Yeah. Because in the public, of course, his image was that he was married, but he said no, he was not. He was separated.
Right.
His marriage was over, and of course that was true.
Yes.
That was true. And
so you were nervous about it.
Again, I questioned him about it again, and that did it. He said, well, I've had it with this. He said, look, if you want to stay here, put this on, and he threw a black silk pajama top at my face.
Right.
Oh, yeah, Robin, what?
See, if you're the king, you can do that. If you're the king, you can do that.
No, that does not go.
So you stormed out?
So I stormed out.
And then what did he say? Baby, come back, please.
No, he didn't. I stormed out, and I didn't expect to ever hear from him again.
And he did.
And I didn't want to hear from him again, Tage. I was very...
Yeah.
He probably respected you more for that.
Yeah, because most girls stayed and put on the silk pajamas.
Yes, I think that's...
I bet you the king was on drugs that night. He might not have been in control of his bowel. I'm telling you.
He was wearing a diaper.
He was wearing a diaper. You were in control of your bowel that night, right? Hey, I have to ask everything.
I was in control of my senses, I know that.
You were smart. You left, you had your dignity, you were into Elvis, but you were not going to be ordered around like some common hooker or something.
King or no king.
King or no king, I'm getting out of here. Well, this is an exciting time. I have to take a little break. Now, here's what I suggest we do. I'm going to give you the thrill of your life because you haven't seen the king in a long time. I will
talk to him.
When we get back, I want to continue with your story and talking about your new book that just came out, Don't Ask Forever, My Love Affair with Elvis Presley by Joyce Bova. Sounds like Joyce was very, very honest in this book.
Yes.
And it's always fascinating to read people's interactions with the superstars.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
And when we come back, we'll continue.
Did you ever meet Lisa Marie? Is that... Oh, no.
No, she was a baby.
I think we gave up on her. She married Michael Jackson. Did the king ever throw a pool cue at your breast? Remember he did that? To one woman. Never threw one at you? Very lucky. She had a paralyzed breast. True story. Right,
what couldn't it do, walk?
No, it was paralyzed. Her breast became paralyzed from the king.
Wow, that's
a true story.
Well,
what did your breast do? How would you know it was paralyzed?
How would you know your breast? You had to put a handicap plate. I don't know, but seriously, that is a true story. All right. I know everything about Elvis because I will contact him for you. You will be able to talk to the king.
Really?
Yes, you will. Once and for all.
Very excited about that.
We are talking with Joyce Bova, who has written a book called Don't Ask Forever, My Love Affair with Elvis, in the bookstores now. And we'll be right back after these words.
We're back with the Howard Stern Show.
And let me remind you, we are 23 minutes away from my press conference.
A major press conference, shall we say.
I'm on the front page of Newsday today. All of the major newspapers
are talking about you.
Just trying to impress Joyce.
Well, she seemed to perk up.
Yeah, she's easily impressed by this. She's into fame. She might sleep with fame. There I am on the front page of Newsday today, and they say Howard Stern's most private part. Will he run for governor? Will he talk?
Today's decision. It's D-Day.
Decision 94 day. It's just the stupidest thing you've ever seen. Anyway, Joyce Bova is here. And Joyce wrote a book called Don't Ask Forever, My Love Affair with Elvis. It took 5 years to write. And Joyce kept journals.
How long were you with Elvis?
Almost 3 years.
3 years?
It took you 5 years to write about it.
That's right. It takes longer to write about it than to actually be with him. Joyce, now tell me something. The night that you finally sleep with Elvis is when? After you had your big fight?
After I had a big fight and I ran out. And he came, the next time I saw him, he came to Washington, D.C. to find me.
Is that the time he visited the president?
That's the time he visited the president.
He really came to see Joyce.
Yes, he really did.
He did?
Yes.
Wow.
He said it was an afterthought that he thought he'd stop in and see the president since he was in town.
And were all your friends flipping out that you were hanging with the king, Elvis Presley? Was this?
Well, the ones who knew, yes.
Yes, this made you a star.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is an aphrodisiac like you can't believe. I mean, especially after a guy just throws a nightie at you and says, get in this and let's sleep. You come back to him because you're drawn to his superstardom, true?
His superstardom.
Yes. Come on.
That is a strong aphrodisiac, I must admit, but that is not the reason, because I had met other stars before. Elvis
like who? O.J.? Have you met him?
I see O.J.
Never. I see O.J. Who else did you meet? Wayne Newton?
Well, I've met a lot of stars.
How do you meet all these stars?
You won't name them?
You want to name who you met?
You know, it's really funny.
Freddie Roman? Who is it?
Freddie Roman.
Who did you meet?
I mean, in Las Vegas, it seemed... when you get an opportunity to read my book,
yes.
People were coming up to us and asking us if we wanted to meet whoever was appearing.
Really? Because you're very, very attractive, obviously.
I mean,
you know that's the reason, right? You were a good-looking woman, and you were 24 years old, and you're walking around in hot pants.
And gold lame.
Mini pants and gold lame. Did you get to date Siegfried and Roy? Or
Siegfried and Roy.
I see, Siegfried. Who else did you meet when you were there?
But I mean, I wasn't.
Tony Bennett?
I wasn't.
Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra, did you meet with him?
How about Engelbert Humperdinck?
Oh, you did meet him. That's a very rare meeting. Tom Jones, did you meet?
I've met him.
Oh. Ever sleep with him?
No.
Ever sleep with Engelbert?
No. I wasn't interested in any of that. I mean,
Rip Taylor?
I was an ordinary,
Buddy Hackett?
Young woman. No. I mean,
I know who it was. Shecky Green.
Oh, I'm going to shoot
Mark
you.
Harris?
No.
All right, so wait, I don't want to miss a minute of this story. I must move along here.
Norm Crosby.
Rodney Dangerfield. All right.
Just Elvis.
Just Elvis. So he comes to Washington to see you. Is this when you get to finally sleep with the king?
Yes.
All right. You're impressed. He came all the way to Washington to see you. You, after all, worked with him.
And to apologize. I mean, he was so apologetic.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. All right, so...
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Wait till we contact Elvis. It's going to be exciting with the two of you. You might want to jump on top of me and have sex with me. And that's all right, because this will no longer belong to me, this body. So when you sleep with him, what happens? Is it a hotel in Washington?
Yes.
And you go up to his suite. He's apologized to you. You walk in. The king is there in his karate gi, whatever he's wearing.
Karate gi.
You walk in, and what are you wearing that moment? Do you remember? I'm going to picture you. Are you in a mini outfit?
Mini outfit.
Tell me what happens.
I really, honestly can't remember what I had on.
See, I remember stuff like that. Do you remember what the king had on?
He was wearing a black outfit.
All right, black outfit, chinos.
Black pants.
Chinos.
With big high collar.
Big high collar like Dracula.
My Dracula collar.
My chinos and high collar match the color of my hair. So then you walk in, and what does he do? He grabs you in his arms and he begins to kiss you?
No.
Does he take you like a man, or does he take you...
Does the king have good breath?
Yeah. The king hung like a Venus
I will tell you, he had a wonderful breath, a wonderful mouth. That was probably...
I took those gel caps. He had nice breath.
Yes.
And didn't the king have a small weenie? It was tiny, wasn't it?
What?
He called it Little Elvis, didn't he? True or false? Please, tell me the truth. About 100. Go ahead.
He was
He was small. It was small, though, was it not?
No.
He was aroused?
As compared to what?
As compared to me.
What? I mean,
As compared to a pinky. Was he bigger than... I'm saying when he was flaccid. Was he a pinky? Was he bigger than a pinky?
I would hope so, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you know what?
Was he bigger than a hot dog?
I didn't.
How many inches would you estimate?
I don't know. I didn't think to bring a tape measure with
Oh, come on. You stared at it enough. You saw it.
By you.
Come on.
25 years later.
How many inches? Give me your best guesstimate. You know, every woman looks.
I can't get
You were with the king. You wouldn't be into how big it was?
No, I wasn't into that.
What?
No.
In 3 years, you know every centimeter.
I mean, I was 24. I guess the naive 24. I wasn't into.
You had been with men before, though, right?
Measurers and.
Was he bigger than the other guys? Oh, this was your first man.
Well, sort of.
Yeah. Oh, you'd only done like third base up until then. So he was the first guy you had intercourse with. I can't understand. Maybe I better contact the king. Come on. All right. You're saying you were a virgin when you met him.
I had a boyfriend when I met him.
You did?
I was seeing someone when I met him.
So how was he compared to the boyfriend? Was he as big as the boyfriend?
I cannot remember.
You're kidding me. You know what? You're the girl for me.
You have no memory of that?
I hardly have anything in my pants.
That's why you can't remember.
Yeah, I guess there was nothing to really remember, huh?
Oh.
Unbelievable. And the king was good in the sack?
He was very passionate.
Did he do everything?
He gave you intercourse?
Yes.
Really?
I bet you he didn't do everything, though.
He probably didn't go... He didn't try to please you with his mouth, did he? No, of course not. Because he's the king.
That's right. Elvis didn't have to.
Could you draw a picture of the king's genitalia? Give her the pen, please, if you would.
You are serious? No. I'm not an artist either.
Yes, you are.
I mean, if you read my book, maybe you'll get a better idea.
Is there a drawing in there? Let me look.
That should have been provided.
My God, it's as big as a baby's arm. Oh, my God, that is a baby's arm. That's you as a child with your twin sister there. I see. Joyce, let me contact the king, and let's ask him how he feels about your book, about how...
Yeah.
And you can talk to him, Robin. I would hope that you would speak to him.
I might have a question or two.
Right.
I may have some questions myself.
All right. Joyce has written a book called Don't Ask Forever. It's a very big book about her experience with Elvis, yet we do not know penis size. And you're saying the king made love to you more than once that night?
That night?
Yes.
Or
did he ever make love to you more than once in a night?
Well, Howard, I'll tell you, I've never said this to anyone, but, no.
He did not. I knew it. I knew that guy was not...
He was a one-time around
a one-shot deal, right?
Yes.
But it probably didn't last that long,
did he
true?
last? Yeah.
He didn't last long, did he? You were never fully satisfied, were you?
Oh, Mom.
True or false? Well, why not? Guy's dead. He don't know anything.
Sometimes.
Really? Very rarely were you satisfied.
The king mostly took care of himself,
right.
I bet.
Would he just he'd be all sweaty, jump on top of you, and then...
No.
Did he care about your pleasure? Did he want to get you off?
He was very tender and passionate. He was.
Did he try to get you off? Did he ever say to you, baby, I don't think you got off. Let me do something here?
Did you have
there
the big
was just a couple of times when he was, he was very insensitive, and it's in my book.
It is. Were you turned off to his hillbilly-like genitalia? Of course, he was uncircumcised. Am I correct?
You read my book?
Of course I did.
Oh.
Now, he was uncircumcised. Did that turn you off?
Well, I guess you must have read my book. He did not turn me off.
He did not.
You didn't mind that?
He was probably groomed there. I see.
Do you think he had somebody do that for him?
What, groom him? I think that's something you handle yourself. Even the king. I don't think Hamburger James came in and started doing that. Hamburger James used to have to change his diapers and stuff, but I don't think that's true. Hamburger James wrote it.
Did you know Hamburger James?
Yes, I knew him, but Elvis was not like that.
No, he later on, after you.
No, he was purely gorgeous and wonderful.
All right, let's find out about Elvis and how he feels about you writing about him. All right, here we go. Robin, I will ask you to speak with Elvis.
All right.
And then Joyce can jump in where she wants.
Okay.
Elvis, I will channel now. You will be speaking with Elvis. This is very exciting for Joyce. When's the last time you spoke to Elvis? How many years has it been?
20.
All right. 20 years.
21.
All right, here we go.
20.
Elvis? Elvis?
What, is Elvis hard of hearing?
Where's the music?
Something's happening.
Something's happening, all right. I think George is leaving. Wait a second. Hello there. Hello, who's there?
Elvis?
Hello, this is Elvis.
Elvis, is that you?
This is me.
Elvis, welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm Robin Quivers, and we're here with Joyce Bova.
Who? Who that?
Joyce Bova, a woman who says she slept with you, Elvis.
Is that my little Joyce?
Yeah.
I love you, baby. How are you? I remember Joyce.
Yeah, you
slept
do?
Together. Oh, yes. I threw the pajamas at her, and
she told us that story.
Washington. Then I had her sexually. She was good. I never cared about her orgasm, just mine.
Oh, Elvis.
How are you, Joyce?
Elvis, now tell the truth.
What's that, baby?
Just tell the truth about everything. And we'll
all right.
Okay.
First of all, you lied. I did it 4 times a night to you. You know that. Some nights I could only do it 3 times because I needed to eat. I love my raisinets and my swordfish. I love
swordfish and raisinets.
That was my favorite. I love mashed potatoes. I love giblet gravy and steakums.
Did he talk about food a lot with you?
I always talk to Joyce about my food.
Did you?
Baby, I miss you so much. Why don't you come over here and hug your Elvis? Don't you miss me, honey? I know I'm in this disgusting body of Howard Stern, but I would love to kiss you again, just to feel your warm, tender lips. Just to feel your warm, hot body again.
Was Elvis a good kisser, Joyce?
Of course I would. Come here and show him.
Best. The best.
Come here and kiss your king. Actually, I wanted her twin sister.
Oh, really?
That's right. I thought it was her twin sister. I didn't know. I love this woman, Joyce.
Did you?
Yeah, very
Why
beautiful.
no marriage?
What?
Why
I can't
no
believe it.
marriage, Elvis?
I love her so much. First of all, let me just, before I talk to Joyce.
Yes.
Joyce, I miss you so much. P.U., I stink.
Oh.
I've been dead a long time, 20 years. It's been so long. Do you recognize my voice, baby?
I am very impressed.
You had a sweet, sweet, luscious body. You had the most tender thighs, beautiful buttocks, wonderful arms. You know my favorite part on you is your buttocks, don't you, Joyce? Do you know that? Do you remember when I used to call you sweet buttocks cheeks?
That was your name for her?
Do you remember how we made love, my darling? Do you remember how I grabbed you in my arms and kiss you and hugging you and I squeeze your cheeks? Remember that? And then I have premature ejaculation.
Oh, stop it,
Very
Elvis.
embarrassed.
Elvis.
That happened a few times. Joyce probably told you that. Why don't you tell him everything, Joyce?
You did say you were insensitive.
I was insensitive. I would tell Joyce to go to sleep so I could go eat. God, I was hungry. You know what I miss the most about being alive, Joyce? I miss Tic Tacs and fried chicken.
Tic Tacs?
And ribs with hot sauce and tea with lemon. And Roy Rogers' Bodacious Anything. And chili and lettuce. Tomatoes and turnips and
You don't miss
cantaloupe.
Joyce, you miss food?
Joyce was all right, but food rules. I don't remember. Did I ever make you dance with a monkey? Did I ever make you dance with my monkey, Hamburger James?
No, Monkey was not
Monkey.
Hamburger James.
Oh, whatever. He looked like a monkey. Did I ever make you dance with a monkey in your panties? Did I ever do that to you? I did that to some girl. Did I ever introduce you to my Pappy Vernon?
Yes.
Did I ever introduce you to my raccoon-eyed mama? Did I ever introduce you to her? To mama? I don't remember. Do I, Joyce? No.
No. I think his mother was dead.
Did you ever talk to her about your twin brother?
Yes.
I gotta be honest with you, Joyce. I hardly remember you. I had so many women in my time. I had so many. If you was my girlfriend, which was my favorite meal? Only my girlfriend would know that. Was it breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Which was my favorite meal?
All three.
That's right. All of the above. You are my girlfriend. This woman is 100% legitimate. And I don't care what you say. I don't care. Oh, Missy Quivers. I'm so worried.
Why are you worried, Elvis?
I'm worried about Michael Jackson.
Yeah, well, your little baby just got married again.
This is a sham of a marriage.
Is it? You don't think it's real? They're not really in love, sleeping together and all that?
How stupid am my daughter, Lisa Malou? How stupid am
Well,
she?
she inherited the family intelligence, I think.
Joyce, you haven't been with any other men since the king, have you?
No.
Really?
Oh, Joyce, are you lying to the king?
Have you been with a black
I
man?
wouldn't lie to you. I wouldn't.
I want to know. Have you been with a black man?
No one.
Thank God.
How does the king feel about his daughter being married? Well, Michael Jackson, is he a black man?
I think he's a chink.
Will you stop? Elvis, I told Howard the other day, now I'm telling you, no chink.
It's hard to tell what that boy is. How stupid am my daughter, Lisa Malou? Doesn't she read the paper? Who told her to marry that freak? The Easter Bunny? And where are that effing retard of my wife, Priscilla Ballou?
I understand that Priscilla is not interfering.
You know why I call her Ballou?
Why?
Because she blew it when she raised my lovely daughter, Lisa Bonet.
Lisa Marie.
Whatever. I hate that, Michael Jackson. I hate all those jokes about my new son-in-law. Did you hear Michael Jackson's last lover passed away?
No.
Crib death.
Oh.
Now, I know that they're saying that he loved boys, but it never been proven. So maybe he don't love boys.
Well, it's mostly they're saying children.
I don't believe it. I'm so sick I think I'll eat. And then I'll puke, and then I'll eat my own puke. If she wanted to marry a dark man, why couldn't she marry Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor or Urkel?
Urkel?
Yeah, he am a funny little bastard.
You like Urkel?
Hell, she should have married Stevie Wonder or maybe one of these men.
Yeah, not Michael Jackson.
That's right. I can't stand it.
Well, are you turning over in your grave?
I am. I can't stand the idea that my poor grandson might possibly be raped before he could even cure his diaper rash or bedwetting, if these allegations is true.
Yeah, he's only, 18, 20 months old?
That's right. Joyce, I only wish that I was with you. I wish I could hold you one last time in the body of this Howard Stern. Would it be possible to hug you, my darling? One last time.
Of course, Elvis.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I think she's buying this.
Go for it.
Would you?
I'm convinced.
That I am the king? Ask me any question. I can prove I'm the king.
Did the king have a sense of humor?
Yes.
He had a fabulous sense of
I was great.
Self-deprecating.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, say some other bad stuff about yourself,
very
Elvis.
much so.
I love two things. I love humor and I love French fries and onion rings. Mixed in with an ice cream sandwich and rolls and butter and string beans and
He
cake.
did insist on the French fries.
I love Worcestershire sauce. I love burgers and hot dogs and clams and lamb on a spittoon.
A spittoon?
And meatball heroes and stew and shrimp scampi and shish kebab and hors d'oeuvres. I loved hors d'oeuvres, didn't I?
And black-eyed peas.
Yes. I always had a self-deprecating sense of humor.
Deprecating, no, Elvis.
I was always
deprecating.
What?
The word is deprecate.
I miss the earth. I miss the flowers. I miss the trees. I miss roadkill.
Roadkill? You didn't eat that.
No, I didn't eat it, but it always felt so fuzzy and warm. It reminded me of the lump of flesh on the back of my mama's neck. That's the lump I used to call satin. I had a nickname for you, didn't I, Joyce? Do you remember what it was, my darling?
Do you remember what it was?
It was Satin Jr. What was that name again? I forget your name. What was it? Was it?
What he called me? Or my name? You forgot my name?
Yeah. What is your name? Now, what was the nickname I gave you? Tell the world.
He called me a little girl.
Little girl, that is right. Little girl.
Little girl.
Come here, little girl.
I said, come here, little girl, and then she would come there, and then she would make love. And you always loved when I made love to you, didn't you?
Yes, Elvis.
A lot of times I didn't always have sex with my beautiful...
Did Elvis like you to be aggressive?
Yes.
Or was he one of those guys who liked the woman to be submissive?
No. Yeah, he did not like aggressive women.
No, I like when though she would
No.
we would be in our underpants. And we would only go to third base. I didn't like to go all the way all the time. I liked to pretend that she was my little girl.
Is that true?
I had the imagination of a toad when it came to sex. You know, I never wrote my own songs. I stole them from the black man. I'll tell you, though, I love my mama more than I love Joyce. You know that to be true. I always was honest with Joyce. First come mama. Always mama. Papa said... Excuse me?
Why did you change Joyce? She was so pretty.
Why did I change Joyce?
Yeah, why did you do that Priscilla makeover on her?
She looked beautiful when I made her hair all black and give her big bushy eyebrows and eyeliner. You look beautiful like that, didn't you, my sweet? You love wearing your headband, your Elvis headband, didn't you? I used to love when Joyce would bend over and dial Domino's Pizza all at the same time. That turned me on.
There was no Domino's Pizza back then.
Yes, there was. When I was done with Joyce doing her makeover, putting those big eyelashes on her, she looked like Jerry Mahoney. And I loved it. One time I said to Joyce, little girl, I want you to get the beehive hairdo. And I put real bees in her hair. And she had a real beehive going on in her hair. Must have been a year before we actually got honey out of that head. Remember I gave you the beehive hairdo? I loved it. I loved it so much.
How did Elvis approach you and tell you he wanted you to make all these changes?
The higher your hair, the better. Tell her how I told you to change your look. Tell her about that. Go ahead, Missy.
Well, he was very, it was very obvious that he liked that look.
Yeah.
And then there was a time when I kind of dressed down, and he got very annoyed with that.
So you knew.
I knew.
I love my mama, though.
Yeah.
I wanted you to look like my mama. That was the truth.
I don't know how anybody could have looked like your mama.
Papa told me that when he first met Mama, it was the best $50 he ever spent.
Oh, geez, that's not true.
Who's going to argue with a dead man? I would like to sing a little song about Michael Jackson marrying
Did he ever sing to you?
Oh,
Of course I did. To my little girl, I always sing. Always sing to my little girl.
This will be good. You sing to her now, Elvis.
I wrote a song for Joyce once called Cheese and Corn on the Cob.
Now, how was that for Joyce?
It was her favorite. Oh, if I could only kiss you one last time. My Joyce, my little girl, my lovely Lisa Ballou. There were 7 loves in my life.
Yeah.
Number 1 love in my life, and I never told this to anyone, was Quaaludes. Number 2 was Seconal.
Oh, dear.
Number 3 was food.
He never tried to give you drugs.
Yes, I did.
I did.
Actually, I
Elvis the Great Pusher.
Sleeping pills was all that.
She couldn't sleep, though. She was having trouble. The false love of my... excuse me, I was telling you the loves of my life. Number 1 love of my life was sleeping pills.
Yeah.
Number 2 was Seconal. Number 3 was food. Number 4 was more food. Number 5 and 6 was Mama and Papa. And number 7 was Joyce, my little love girl.
Oh. No Lisa Marie on the list at all?
No.
Oh.
Not since she married Michael Jackson.
Knocked off the list.
Joyce, tell the people about the time that I was looking at Joyce. I said, I put a whole bird cage in her huge hat. I had hidden a bird cage in there as part of my makeover. And then Joyce got angry with me when the bird crapped on her nose. Remember that story? Tell them, did you write that in the book? Don't Ask Forever, my love affair with Elvis.
And then I took it and threw it at you, dear.
You did, I remember. And I was mad, but I got so upset I had to go eat chocolate sauce. And I downed 3 turkey drumsticks because I was so upset.
Now, when you yelled at Elvis, what happened?
She once picked up I would yell back at her. I said, hey, you just shut up now, I'm the king.
Did he refer to himself as the king?
Always.
Only in joking.
Oh, really?
He did not. No.
I always loved Joyce, even though she didn't wipe properly.
Oh,
I always
stop it, Elvis.
I'm just kidding. She always wiped beautifully.
I don't think he noticed that.
Let me sing a song about this horrible thing. What do you think of this, my little girl? What do you think about my little girl, Lisa Ballou, marrying Michael Jackson? What do you think of that? You angry? I'm angry.
I don't know what to think about that.
And they say that he liked young boys. Now, I don't know if it's true, but I wrote it in the song anyway.
All right, let me hear it.
Where is Michael tonight? This is Lonesome Tonight. Where is Michael tonight? With a young boy, real tight. Did he leave you to chase a Cub Scout? My poor little girl, this man won't give you a whirl. Damn, his sexuality, I'm in doubt. Thank you. Have you seen this Michael Jackson naked? Is his wiener black or white? Does he look at you naked? Or does he play Candyland all night? I ask you, where is Michael tonight?
I don't know if that was Elvis or Tiny Tim.
I don't sing as good as I used. Look at Joyce, she's happy.
She's glad you stopped.
Marry my meatloaf and garlic toast. I got a song for my new son-in-law.
Oh, no, you're going to sing again?
If it's true that he's into young boys, I want to say this. The following. Love them tender, love them young, before they go to school. My offspring married a pop star freak. I think my kid, she am a fool. And what if he likes young boys, allegedly, then drag his ass to court? Didn't that little boy describe his private parts as being hairy, dark, and short? She's my daughter, my flesh and blood. Why did she choose you? I'd rather choose Howard Stern, that gawky, dumb half-Jew. If I wasn't dead, I'd kill myself. Life sucks, and then it gets worse, as you know, Joyce. Now I got to end my song. I forgot to eat through the 3rd and 4th verse. It's working. Joyce is naked, isn't she? Did you love that, honey, my little girl?
Did you compose that yourself?
I certainly did, my little... Well, I stole that from the black man, I must confess. Joyce, I'm going to ask you one last time. I'm going to ask you right now, my sweet darling. I know you wrote a book about me. Don't Ask Forever, my love affair.
Does it bother you that she wrote a book?
You know. Because she described me as being very loving and tender.
Okay.
You would be proud.
I'm so proud of what you've done wrote, Joyce. Or else those kooks up at Graceland would start yelling at you if you didn't write something nice.
Have you been to Graceland since he died?
No.
No, she has not. I've been watching over her like my sweet little angel. I'll tell you one thing. If I could read, I'd read this book. I swear to you I would. Joyce, may I hold you in my arms one last time? I'm asking you as a man and you as a woman. May I?
Yes, Elvis.
Would you take off those headphones and come over here? I'm too bloated and fat to come near you.
Are you serious?
Please, I'm asking you, Joyce. I'm begging you. I haven't had a woman in 20 years. Except for O.J.'s wife.
Oh, dear.
She up here with me now.
You've talked to Nicole Simpson?
Yes.
Oh. Who did
Joyce,
it then, Elvis?
Please, take off your headphones and come to your king. I beg of you. Yes, I do. Yes, I'm the king. This is not Howard. This is the king. You got to understand what's going on in my pants.
What?
No, I mean in my head. Oh, man, look at the body on this one. Joyce, come to me. Come to me now. Do you mind sitting on the king's lap? Like in the old days?
Did you sit on his lap?
She used to sit on my lap. Boy, you're light. How much you weigh? I forget.
Not quite 100 pounds.
You know the king loved you very much. And this is the closest that I'll ever come to you. I can feel through Howard's hands. I can feel you. Let me hug you, may I?
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh, my goodness.
May I kiss your neck? Joyce, may I kiss your neck?
Is it like the good old days?
I swear, I wish I wasn't in Howard Stern's body. This is the greatest. May I kiss your neck?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Here we go now.
See?
Is that the way the king used to do it?
May I squeeze your ass? Excuse me, I forgot you're a lady. This is Joyce. I love you. I love you, even though you don't smell like food. I love you. I swear I do. Joyce, may I kiss your cheek?
Now,
Pull down your pants, I'll kiss your cheek. I'm just kidding. Elvis detects you're not wearing underwear, are you? Are you wearing underwear or what? I think she ain't wearing underwear there, Missy. I tell you, I think that.
Elvis, you're clairvoyant.
I'm clairvoyant. I'm the king. I'm clairvoyant. How do you call him clairvoyant? Are you still a virgin? I hope you are. I told you I was stupid. I know, it's pantyhose. She ain't a virgin.
You finally figured that out.
Kiss me goodbye, Joyce. Kiss me. Kiss me. Touch me.
Oh, my goodness, you don't know how to answer you, Elvis.
All right. Let me just hug you. Give me the best hug you ever gave me. And then I'll be satisfied.
Remember, it's the last time.
Come here. The last time. Our one last embrace. Come here. Nuzzle up to me. You're still a woman.
Don't fight me.
Don't fight me. Why are you struggling? I don't understand. I'm the king. You used to be my lover.
Well, Elvis doesn't like aggressive.
Yeah, well, Howard does. I'm not Elvis. Oh, wait a second. I'm losing Elvis.
We're losing Elvis.
Joyce, what happened? What are you doing over here?
Oh, I don't know.
What? Joyce.
She really got carried away. She thought you were Elvis, Howard.
I know. She was coming on to me, I think.
Yeah.
Well, how was it to hear the king?
It felt wonderful.
Oh,
Joyce. Again. Right in my ear, too.
Congratulations on your book, Don't Ask Forever, My Love Affair with Elvis. Joyce Bova, as told to William Conrad Knowles.
Yes,
and
did
pick
a
it up.
wonderful job.
It's in the bookstore now, isn't it?
Yes.
What's this echo doing on
I
here?
was going to say, what are you echoing for?
Why'd you break up with the king? Or he broke up with you?
No, I left him.
Why? He got you weird?
His drug abuse.
Really?
It escalated, and I tried to. I know we've been kidding around this whole time, but I did try and help him. I tried to talk to him about it, and it was impossible to tell Elvis anything.
Yeah, he had control over his bowels the whole time he was with you?
He thought he had complete control over his whole life, which I think in reality he had no.
Did he ever talk to you about the Bible and all that stuff? Did he get onto you with those long sermons?
Yes, I did.
He was very into. He was very soul searching. I mean, he had inner turmoil.
He was spiritual.
No, he was turmoil.
He was in turmoil. He was looking for something. He couldn't find it. He wanted his mama.
You know what?
Did he ever call you mama? Did he ever call you mama like he was trying to find his mother or something?
Mommy?
No.
Mommy or anything like that?
No.
Nothing like that? Nothing weird? What's the weirdest thing he ever did to you? What? Hey, whisper it. Whisper it in my ear. What is it? What's the weirdest thing? Tell me. Oh, you'll tell me after the show? Why don't you show me? What is it, Gary?
I hate to interrupt, but you know what?
Oh, okay.
All the press is out there. It's really hot, and they're already restless.
Okay. I got to go do a press conference. Everybody go get Joyce Bova's new book, Elvis, My Love Affair. We have a press conference coming up next. I am about to make the biggest political speech of my career, Robin.
All right.
Right after these words. Everyone is staying tuned for my press conference. They want to know if I'm running for governor, what I'm doing. I'm
a huge turnout.
Were you out there?
I can see them. They're flooding down this way.
All right. I have to begin the press conference. I'm already late for my press conference, and that's not fair. I promised to get it on in time.
Well, is the president ever on time? Is the governor ever on time?
No.
Make them wait.
That's right. Got to make them wait. All right. Now, what will happen is first you will hear Gary Puppet.
Yeah.
Gary Puppet, you better go right out there and start making your speech.
And then Gary Puppet will be announcing or introducing Steve's uncle.
Right. Now, Steve's uncle has throat cancer, and this will make me look good because to have the handicapped out there is always good.
Endorsed by a person with a problem.
Yeah. Steve's uncle, we haven't even talked to him yet. Maybe we'll get him in after the press conference.
Did you tell him what to say?
What? I gave him a speech, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's one sentence. I think that's all he can handle.
I didn't know whether he had his line or not.
Yeah, it should bring everybody's head down. Next voice.
It should soften them up so they won't be so bad to you.
Next voice you'll hear is Gary Puppet. Now, how do we bring this up? Is this up on the air? Is someone here to help me? Is this the press conference? I don't hear it. Oh, I see. Okay. Gary Puppet is going to be first, then Gorilla's uncle.
Who's going through right now behind my head.
I see.
Just waiting for your cue. Say when.
Say when? I'll say when right now.
That's the crowd outside I'm hearing?
Yeah. You'll hear Gary Puppet. There's a full crowd of press. I will address questions.
Boy, lots of confusion.
Yeah. I don't hear Gary Puppet. I hear everyone but Gary Puppet.
I don't know if he's made it up to the podium.
Fred trying to hide himself behind the podium so for TV it'll look good.
Getting himself situated, I guess.
Yeah, Fred takes his time, boy.
Well, he's a perfectionist, so this might never happen.
Hard copies out there, Associated Press, UP, NBC, ABC, CBS Television. I have 20% of the vote. If you think this is not a big story, check out the front page of Newsday today. Cover, Post, Daily News covering it.
Do you think Scott remembered that they need a microphone on Fred, not on the puppet?
I don't know. There might be a danger there. All right, let's begin.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I am the Gary Puppet.
We're doing a puppet
show. Now, people say that I'm stupid, but look at all you people. You're listening to a friggin' puppet.
No laughs.
Anyway, before I introduce my vote, I would like to say I will vote for my vote because I don't like Governor Cuomo or his father, Perry Como.
No
now, I may be an imbecile,
but
I am no retard. Who cares what Howard makes? Oh, well, Napoleon had his Watergate, and this is Howard's. So before you get to talk to my Wolf, the Wolf of all Wolves...
Fred's lucky he's hiding.
The Wolves of all Wolves...
He's going to go on.
He's going to keep going.
Let me introduce a man who needs an introduction. Here is Uncle James.
Uncle James now, the man with throat cancer. He will introduce me. This will really go over big.
I'm wondering. Wait a minute.
He's putting the mic up to his throat kazoo. Let's get out of here. I don't want to do the press conference. Here he goes. Uncle James. Uncle James speaks with a...
Jackie's going to vomit.
Jackie's
choking. We're not going to have to do Heimlich maneuver on Jackie. Here we go.
That's Uncle James. I'm getting out of here.
Oh, no.
Robin, quick, let's go. Come on, Jackie. More spelling is better English. Word on this either? Can you hear me? Which way? Robin, I'm getting into the channel while Uncle James calls. Is he still going? They're clapping? Thank you. To Uncle James. Thank you, Uncle James. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you, Uncle James. Thank you. All right, thank you. I'm making my way toward the podium, Robin, so I can make my big political speech. I even have a speech written out. Holy cow, what an up crowd. Well, we meet again. Let me get my... What kind of microphone is this? The microphone... What is that? You can hear me? Yeah, but my audience at home's got to hear me. We're on the radio. Well, I can see all of our puppet shows have really won you guys over. Want to thank the press for coming today. I have an important announcement to make. That first announcement is 1-800-52-STERN. Of course, I always have to promote selfishly. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming today. I want you to know that I have told you everything about my life. I spend 25 hours a week telling you all the most intimate details of my life. Name another candidate who gives you such disclosure. Has Mario Cuomo ever told you the size of his penis? Has Mario Cuomo ever admitted to drug use in college? Has he talked about the stains in his underpants and burying those underpants in his backyard when he was young? There isn't a detail I leave out. Have any of the other candidates publicly stated their opinions on O.J. Simpson, Michael Jackson, Magic Johnson, Sidney Biddle Barrows Esquivosa, the Mayflower Madam? Has Governor Cuomo ever told you that Imus has the skin of a sick alligator? No, he hasn't told you any of these things. And boy, I'm sorry I did.
You're going over big, too.
I'm going over big, huh, Robin?
Oh, yeah. A lot of laughs in this room.
Gee, what a crowd. Well, the audience at home is laughing. And this guy Pataki, has he ever shown you his face on camera? Much less his ass at the MTV Music Video Awards? Only I have done these things. I told the voters everything. I told you I had no political experience. I told you that I am not qualified to be the governor. I told you I only have 3 stupid items in my platform. I told you that I will serve only until I get you the death penalty, and then I will resign. And there are problems running for office, as I have found. In fact, when we had our first press conference, everyone in the press said, Howard, how will you get around this whole idea of equal time? I sat down with lawyers, I looked into equal time, and I found that if I had no campaign, if I had no committee, if I had no rallies, if I had no promotional material, if I had no campaign funds, and if I had no campaign strategy, I am not a bona fide candidate. If I'm not a bona fide candidate, I can talk about it on the radio all I want. So I got around it. That was my biggest concern when I decided to run for governor. I had no idea about campaign financial disclosure. I'm a disc jockey. None of you asked me about financial disclosure that day. Did you, Penny?
I did. I most certainly did, and I have it on tape, and we'll show it tonight.
Oh, you did?
I certainly did.
All right, Penny, mellow out. Oh, I wish Penny wasn't here. Oh, she always catches me. One little lie. I really didn't know that much. I'll tell you what I thought campaign financial disclosure meant at the time. What I thought it meant was that if you were running for governor, you had to sit down and declare if you did business, if you had stock, for example, in any company that does business with New York State. I'd be happy to tell you what stocks I own. I'd be embarrassed to show you how little stock I own, but I would certainly tell you what companies I do business with. I have no problem doing that. And that's what I thought campaign financial disclosure was. Those laws were set up to make sure that some guy who has a big fancy campaign war chest isn't taking that money and putting it in his own pocket. That, to me, was financial disclosure. So I didn't know much about the issue, and when I looked into it, I hired a bunch of lawyers. I now have 3 lawyers on the payroll, and I'm spending countless, endless amounts of money trying to figure out this whole financial disclosure situation. Now, I figured I had it covered. When I realized I didn't have it covered and that they wanted me to disclose my entire income to everybody, I said to the lawyers, let's go ahead and file suit. Let's fight this thing. Well, I have a problem on my hands. This guy, this judge somewhere says, no, you've got to file. You've got to tell us how much money you make. And while I've told you everything about myself, and I've been telling you about myself since the first day I started broadcasting, there's only one fact I never revealed. I never told you how much money I made. I never told you how much money I have in the bank. And the reason I never told you how much money I have in the bank is because it's none of your business. It'll never be any of your business. It has nothing to do with me running for government, and that's for sure. That I know. If you know tomorrow how much money I have in the bank, doesn't affect anything about me being governor of New York. So if you want to know how much money I make, screw you. I am never going to tell you how much money I make. I'm not going to tell anybody. Over the 20 years that I've been broadcasting, I've told you about my mother and father. I've told you about my sister. I told you about my diet. I told you about my cars. I told you about my associates. I told you about my general manager, Tom Ciaposano. I told you everything. I told you every one of my political views. It's been discussed, no matter how politically incorrect it's been. But I'm not going to tell you what's none of your business. And if the purpose of this stupid financial disclosure is to tell you who I do business with and what firms I hold stock in, I will gladly list those for you. I have a contract with Infinity Broadcasting and a film company, and I have a contract with a TV company. All of these companies that pay my salary prohibit me from discussing the financial terms in any form. And I don't mind telling you what money where I keep my money. I don't mind telling you what bank my money is in, so that I don't show that bank any favoritism when I am governor. But I just don't think I have to tell you how much money I have in that bank.
You really have become a politician. You're putting everybody to sleep.
I am not. Is anybody sleeping?
Doug Johnson just fell against the wall back there.
Doug Johnson fell against the wall 20 years ago. But, Robin, I'm asking everyone, will that help you in your decision as to whether or not you're going to vote for Pataki, Cuomo, or Howard Stern, how much money I have in the bank? I still don't understand it. How does that affect your decision? If I told you right now that I have $15 in my pocket, does that affect your decision on how to vote? What? Thank you, Gary Puppet. Gary Puppet said no. I hired lawyers. I've looked into this 100 times, and I've drawn a conclusion that either I have to file and tell you how much money I make, I either have to resign, or I have to fight a battle in court. Well, it's been a very expensive fight. I decided I had to fight because I want to be the governor. It required a lot of time. I put the time in. I had countless meetings over this thing, and now I've lost. The judge has said, no, you've got to file anyway. I've lost the battle. Since yesterday, I've worked with all these attorneys. I'm working with them, with my agent, trying to find out the next move. I don't know what else to do. I've drawn papers to appeal the judge's verdict, and what can I say? I've been working and working and working on this thing. It's endless. However, the bottom line is this, and this is what you came to hear. The legal geniuses feel that no matter how many times I appeal, no matter how much money I go through, eventually I will have to file financial disclosure, and these financial disclosure laws are obviously a conspiracy to keep a lot of people from running from office. The prosecutor's office has never once prosecuted anybody who didn't file financial disclosure. There are tons of politicians who don't file financial disclosure, and they never get prosecuted because they say it's not worth the time and money. But you know that I will be prosecuted if I don't file financial disclosure. They'll give me a year in jail, which I can't afford to do right now because I happen to have 3 kids and a wife and a job and a career. I don't want to face jail time for this, and I certainly do not want to pay fines. It's not right. It's a conspiracy to keep good people out of the race. Anybody who has anything in terms of children and a family has to live in a suburban community among people, has to call in a plumber. You can't sit there and talk about how much money you have. How much money do you make, Penny? You want to tell us? Yes, say something.
Everybody knows you're a millionaire.
What is that? You don't know that I'm a millionaire.
Everybody knows you're a millionaire.
I have seen today in the paper that I make $15 million a year. That's untrue.
Tell them. If you make $5 million, $15 million, or $100,000,
it is no business what I make, and certainly it is absolutely no business. I am not going to sit there and discuss what I make with people, and neither are you. What do you get paid?
$30,000 a year.
Liar.
All right, 40.
I am the most honest person in the world today. Believe me. Anybody who admits to having a 1-inch penis is honest. Who else is going to run for governor and tell you he knows nothing about being governor? Well, anyway, with much regret, I have to tell you now that I am resigning from the campaign. I am stepping aside, but I will run for Pope.
Oh, stop it. You can't make cardinal. You can't run for Pope.
According to the latest NBC polls, I am somewhere between 18 and 20% of the vote. And I have to step aside because of this. It's a joke.
There's nothing else you can do?
What am I to do? Why am I yelling?
I don't know, because I'm right here.
I am not going to tell people how much money I make. I don't think I should be forced to do it, especially in light of the fact that there's so many politicians who don't tell.
So this means you're stopping the campaign to get your name on the ballot. Can't you still do that even though you're stepping down as a candidate? Couldn't they still have you on the ballot?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know any of the answers to any of these questions.
All these lawyers? You never know anything.
I don't know any answer. Now, let me tell you about the Libertarians for a second here. The Libertarians have been a mixed bag. There are those Libertarians, and I see some of them in the audience right now, like Joe, who have been terrific. And there are those who have been a pain in the ass. But I know I helped the Libertarians. I gave them a higher profile than they ever had. That's for sure. And I know I've done them some good here. But I'm not a candidate for governor.
No.
Got 18 to 20% of the vote, and I'm not a candidate. And I guarantee you I would win because my platform was simple. People liked it. And not only that, there's a lot of goofballs out there who are looking to vote.
Looking to get in the process.
Now, maybe I'll be a write-in candidate. I don't know. I'm going to look into that. Maybe I'll find someone else to support with my 18 or 20%, whatever it is. The Libertarians are in a position to get a candidate who believe in my platforms, and I'd be happy to meet with them. The Democrats and the Republicans can seek my favor. They can place their calls to me. We'll see who calls first. That's always exciting. I want to know how close these guys are, whether it be the Libertarian candidate or the Democrat or Republican. I want to see how close they are to the Stern platform. And it's a simple platform. I want them to be for the death penalty, and I want them to clean up this traffic situation. God, this crowd is tight. Why don't you guys loosen up? You're as tight as Michael Jackson's little friends. What is that? Let me just finish by saying one thing, and then I'll take some questions. I am still a political force, and I will become even a bigger political force. And although I have been thwarted by the state, I will continue to fight to change this ridiculous financial disclosure law. I'm still going to try and have that turned around. I feel really bad about that one. And now you just have to live with a governor who lets you know that he has shares in IBM, but won't let you know what's going on in his head or his heart other than what is politically correct to say. So that's what you'll be stuck with. Another boring candidate. Yes.
Howard, Chauncey Hayden from Steppin' Out magazine.
You, that's hardly a magazine. Just call it Steppin' Out. Go ahead.
On a scale from 1 to 10,
yes.
How bad did you truly want to be governor?
10. I really want to be governor, and I'm still convinced I could win. This one issue's got me hung.
How much money did you spend trying to stay in this campaign?
I'm somewhere around 50 or 60,000.
I think that's serious.
With Chauncey, the next time you spend 50 or 60, you tell me.
You're getting tons of publicity. You're on the cover of news.
Let me tell you something. I didn't get into it for the publicity. I thought everyone would ignore my candidacy, quite frankly. I didn't think people would take it this seriously. I took it seriously. I was honest, and I was sincere. I was sincere to the Libertarians. You asked them. I went up there. I fought hard for that whole deal.
But he doesn't have trouble.
$1 worth of free publicity.
He doesn't have trouble getting publicity, Penny.
Yeah, Penny. It's like I'm dying for publicity. I can't walk a step without one of you guys being up my ass. Penny irritates the dead. And that's all there is to it.
Howard.
Yes.
Howard, are you serious about the run for Pope?
Yes. Believe me, I'd be a hell of a Pope. And I wouldn't charge $9 million for my book.
What about your fans? There's some outside right now who are upset and saying they can't believe it. If you don't run for governor, they're just going to be crushed.
I have a wife and a family. I live in a suburban community. I can't start throwing around what I make and what I don't make. I also work with Jackie the Joke Man Martling. That guy will be out on picketing, right, and looking for more money the second he finds out what I make. I cannot sit there and give you full financial disclosure. The point was, what companies do I have stock in? What companies do I don't have a complicated financial picture. They're just doing this as a voyeuristic thing. They want to see how much money I've got in the bank. I don't feel comfortable revealing that. I never have. I see these newspaper headlines. Howard Stern won't talk about his finances. I've never talked about my finances. Anytime someone's asked me about it, I have never disclosed it. And I don't think I should be forced into it for this. Make me the governor, and then worry about who I'm doing business with.
Don't you think, then, you don't think any politician should be forced to reveal? Don't you care?
I think every politician should be forced into it, should be forced to disclose who he does business with, which I am willing to disclose, what stocks he owns, and what companies he has invested in. That's it. Why do you need to know exactly how much money he has in the bank? Tell me what purpose that serves. And this judge would not even look at a special circumstance. I'm very high profile. I can't be revealing that. I have a contract with Infinity Broadcasting. It says if I reveal my salary on the air, because they deal with Imus, they deal with 100 other personalities, if I reveal my salary on the air, it makes it very difficult for them. It could cost them tons of money. So I cannot reveal that to some guy who's going to release it to the press. I just can't.
You know, you make it up like the plumber's going to charge you more and that your neighbors... You drive out of here in a limo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't talk to the plumber.
You have children?
Yeah.
You have children?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Number one, I do talk to the plumber. I know my plumber. His name is Nick Lombardo, and I talk to him all the time. And Nick charges me a fortune. He thinks I'm sitting there on a gold mine.
What is it going to make?
It makes a difference to me. Listen, you also have children. Do you have children, Penny?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous that you have children. But let me just say something. I believe in birth control. Forced birth control. No, listen, Penny, you know as well as I do. You have children. You don't want your kids knowing what kind of money you have. You don't want to reveal if you're leaving any money to them. You tell your kids what money you have? Of course I can't. Why do you think that's... No, I don't want to reveal to yentas like you what I make.
So who do you do business with, and what do you have stocks in?
I have stock in... Well, let's see. I'm so diverse. I have... This will certainly help. I have stock with Disney. I have stock with...
Philip Morris.
Philip Morris, the great cigarette company. And I think I had stock with Edsel, but they're out of business now.
They're having a problem.
I might have 3 or 4 more stocks. I don't even know. I mean, I don't invest in the stock market. I'm too scared of it. I think a depression is coming.
Disney and Philip Morris, those two kind of go together?
My father said to me, why don't you invest some money in Disney and Philip Morris? They're doing very well. So I did it. I'm no stock market genius. I have no hidden agenda. I don't even have a campaign committee.
So what qualifies you to run for Pope?
What?
What qualifies you to run for Pope?
It was a joke. How could you guys take that seriously? Now I'm running for Pope. Robin, I'm losing my mind here. What is it, Penny? Why are you the only one to say anything at a press
You've
conference?
always got a question.
Are there no other report? Doug, you haven't asked a question in the last 20...
He's still sleeping.
Doug Johnson, I demand a question. All right, here he is, Doug Johnson.
Why is Penny asking so many questions?
That's a good question.
That's my question.
Why is Penny asking so many questions? Thank God Penny shows up at these things. Nobody else would have a question. Well, here's a question back here.
Glenn Johnson, Manhunt Magazine.
Manhunt Magazine, the gay magazine, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you have any plans to use Gay Rich to go after the gay vote for your governorship?
Let me tell you something. You should be out on a date with a guy right now, not asking political questions. No, I had no plans for Gay Rich.
So what are you going to do now?
I think I better go back to Penny. She's the only one with legitimate...
Really? What are you going to do now that you're not running anymore? You have any other future plans?
I don't know. As I told you, I might be a write-in candidate. I don't intend to just let this 18 to 20% of the vote, I don't intend to just let it go. Robin asked a very good question. Could I still end up on the ballot? I don't know. I don't know the answers to any of these things. Will I support the Democrat or the Republican? My inkling is to go with the Libertarian if they can come up with a candidate that supports my views.
Well, you know that candidate would not get your 18% of the vote.
How's that, Robin?
Because the goofy factor needs you to bring it out.
Hey, well, maybe they could come up with another goofy candidate.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does that mean that Stan Dworkin would be the Libertarian candidate?
I don't know what any of this means. If Stan, I don't even know where Stan is. He's in Texas somewhere, I think at a bachelor party.
Can I ask this? Did you do any kind of study to show, I mean, Wins is now ahead of you in the ratings and Morning Drive. I mean, maybe this governorship was a bad idea in the first place.
Oh, absolutely
maybe
not.
Maybe you should concentrate more on the radio show.
Penny, you are so pathetic. Your Fox Television is 5th in the ratings, and you're
She's worried about you.
She's behind Lifetime Network. Did that discourage you? Penny, I have been consistently number 1 in New York for years.
Maybe you ought to run for governor,
I've
Penny.
been number 1. I've been number 1 or number 2. When you can accomplish that, we'll talk.
Howard,
yes.
When you channeled Elvis this morning, did he tell you to stick with it?
Oh boy, what goofy.
What paper are you from? I want to know what paper that guy's from. He's asking me about channeling with Elvis in the middle of a... What?
New York Post.
You're from the New York Post, and that's the question?
Hey, that's all we care about.
You should be ashamed of yourself. This is a joke of a press conference.
How do you feel about the 3 men who were executed in Arkansas last night?
He doesn't know about it.
I didn't know about it, but I feel good.
When are you going to check into this?
You know why they call it the New York Post? You're as dumb as a post. That's some kind of question.
Howard, when are you going to check into whether or not you could be a write-in candidate, and when are you going to let your fans know about
I am going to check into a lot of this. I had a representative notify the Libertarian Party last night. Joe, I believe you got the call last night. Joe's been very supportive. Ludwig Vogel has been very supportive. There's, the chairman of the Libertarian Party, a woman, has been very supportive. What's her name, Joe? Gail Bova. There's been a lot of nice people. And, yeah.
Tracy Miller from UPI. If there's a Libertarian candidate that you like that supports your platform, would you go out and actively campaign for him?
Yes.
Oh.
Probably not. Go ahead.
That was a surprise to me.
No, by endorsing him, that's enough. Believe me.
There's been some pressure from people that believe the political parties are putting pressure on you.
When is the last time you had sex? Really, I got to know. When is the last time a man touched
serious.
you? What? When is the last time? I'm serious also. When is the last time
you had sex? I mean, you're not answering my question.
A week ago. I do answer your question. God. Penny, that microphone.
Do you really expect people from the Democratic or the Republican parties to contact you?
Oh, please. No one. Penny's hallucinating. She thinks I'm more important than I am. No Democrat. I'll tell you one thing. The Republicans...
taking votes away from Cuomo.
The Republicans were very nervous about my candidacy. As a matter of fact, Penny's got a point.
Yeah.
I hate to admit it, but... Yeah,
finally.
That microphone...
How many years?
That microphone Penny's holding is smarter than she is. I'm telling you. All right, listen to me. The Republicans were upset. The Republicans were making moves to challenge every one of the signatures that the Libertarians were collecting for me. Joe, do you know that's to be true? We had to go out and get not 15,000 signatures. We had to get 50,000 signatures just because we knew the Republicans were going to challenge everything I did. The Republicans were going to challenge equal time, and the Republicans were going to force me to do financial disclosure. So, yes, the Republicans were very much against my campaign and my candidacy.
Thank you.
Oh, don't be so full of yourself.
What about Stan Dworkin?
What about him?
What are you going to do with him?
Oh, let him worry about himself. I'm not going to worry about Stan Dworkin. I got a whole career to worry about. I got a movie coming out. I got all kinds of things going on.
Howard, what do you say to the guy from L.A. who came 3 days ago to collect signatures for you downstairs?
Go home.
Yeah, he's going to have to leave. As a matter of fact, he's been annoying the hell out of me. I wish he would go home. No, listen, there's a lot of people who worked hard collecting signatures. The truth was we were having some trouble collecting signatures, but quite frankly, I was more concerned with this financial disclosure and making sure that we got this all settled first. I didn't, and I wanted to make sure I exhausted every possible way of checking it out with lawyers and all that kind of stuff. It's just impossible.
When you say that you're going to continue to fight financial disclosure, what does that mean?
It means I'm going to still file my appeal, and I'm going to take it possibly to the Supreme Court. On top of my FCC problems with the Supreme Court. I should be at the Supreme Court every day in the next couple of years, fighting everything. Anyway, that's the story. I am no longer a candidate, and I want to thank the press for coming. If Penny has any more questions, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Have you ever accidentally farted during a press conference?
Sorry, Stuttering John, go ahead.
Have you ever accidentally farted during a press conference?
Yes, I yell sometimes, and the gas explodes out of me. Oh, you know what? You are an idiot. I can see why people are annoyed by you.
I just think you do have a lot of fans. You have a major following.
Yes.
We were up in Albany with you, and I think that you're disappointing a lot of people just because you won't tell them what you're worth.
I think the press is disappointed.
Why don't you just say I'm worth $8 million?
No. I'll tell you who's disappointed. Penny, because now she doesn't have any stupid shows to put on about me.
Chase you anymore.
Howard Stern's Road to Albany.
I'm sure you'll come up with something else.
No, Penny, obviously I am disappointed. I don't really care about your disappointment. I don't care about anybody's disappointment except mine. I really wanted to be the governor, and I know it captured the imagination of all of New York State. Yes, I would have won. If I'm at 18% in a legitimate poll right now, all I need is, let's face it, there's a lot of people who are in the closet about voting for me. That vote is probably somewhere at 30 to 35% right now. I would win the election. I would be the next governor of New York. But I draw the line at telling you yentas what I make. And that's it. How many times do I have to say it, Penny? God. Penny, why don't you take your clothes off and clear the place out? All right, listen, I want to thank...
Questions you want to... no more questions?
And who's the guy with the beard in the back? He looks upset. Now, where are you from? You look very angry. You're bored? You're bored. Why are you bored? Why are you bored? Because why?
I don't want to perform here.
Oh, you're hostile? Oh, sorry.
Is he a member of the press?
Are you a member of the press?
Yes.
Oh. Oh, no.
What's your name, if you don't mind me asking?
No, he doesn't want to talk to you. He has his rights.
Curious.
I want to see the guy beat the crap out of Gary.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Let him try.
All right, put the microphone on.
Don't intimidate him.
No, I saw the guy. You noticed?
Yeah, glaring at you.
Yeah, I don't know why you come to a Howard Stern press conference if you're so upset. Maybe you were voting for me and you're upset now?
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe that's it.
Just looks like a smile.
All right. So. Well, everyone seems to be in good humor and good spirits. I want to thank you all for coming.
Howard, you have to walk by him to get back out.
I'm not going near him. We're going to take a commercial break on the radio right now. Thank you to the members of the press, and oh, the hell with you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know. I'm feeling real bummed that I had to give up my campaign. I really wanted to be the governor.
I had every inkling that you would stay in the race.
Yeah, well, I
never thought you'd give up this easily.
Yeah, well, it wasn't so easy, thanks. Thanks for being so supportive.
Oh, geez, Howard.
Don't bitch at me because you never spent this kind of money on something as stupid as running for governor.
Well, you're going to
Now, I have nothing to show for it.
You got to do it.
I have nothing to show for it.
But you're telling me you're still going to spend money. You're going to continue this appeal.
Yeah, I might as well see it through because it's ridiculous. Maybe I'm going to want to run.
But right now you have to drop out of the race. When is the deadline for filing?
August 30th.
It's not August 30th yet.
Yeah, but I don't want to lead anyone on. I don't want the Libertarians working to get, signatures.
But I got to figure. See,
I shouldn't have filed, and I should have risked the jail time. But you know what? I really don't feel like going to jail for a year.
But let me say this. What if they get you on the ballot as the Libertarian candidate, and then you drop out of the race? Your name is still on the ballot. Then you get elected. You can take the post.
Okay. I'm for that, if they want to get that together. I'll win.
You want to talk to Joe Brennan?
Yeah. Hey, I also want to speak to Gorilla's uncle. The guy with the throat cancer. Boy, he went over big.
Oh, yeah, like a lead balloon, man.
Hey, Joe, come on in.
You should have seen your agent. Didn't know who he was. So your agent says to me, what's this all about, Gary? And I said, Don, just watch. He saw about 5 seconds. He put his hand over his eyes and turned his back and walked away.
Yeah, I think so. So did most of the press. How come I don't have a Libertarian and Proud button? Joe?
No, because you didn't go to our national convention last year. That's where I got my...
Oh, okay. Show off. He always has all the cool Libertarian stuff.
Well, look, I knew what you were going to announce ahead of time, and I...
We called Joe last night around 10 o'clock. We had been all day...
You called Joe and you didn't call me?
No, didn't want to tell you, because you would have blurted it out on the air. I'm like Fred with his wedding.
All right,
I called Joe Brennan.
I'm stopping. I'm not talking to you either now.
Rightly so. Good, my ears hurt from you talking to me.
Well, since you weren't going to be the candidate after your announcement, I figured I needed another button to wear.
Right. I don't know, man. I tried every single possible way
to fight this
thing. And being a Libertarian, you know what I'm talking about. Why should someone running for office have to tell his private information?
Well, you shouldn't. That's what I told one of those goofy press people out there who was asking me about that. I said it should be up to the voters of the state of New York to decide if they're unhappy about you not disclosing.
Right.
Right. It shouldn't be a rule that you're going to be put in jail. If
a mandatory rule that forces people not to do something is wrong.
If they don't like that you aren't disclosing, they just won't vote for you.
I should have bribed the judge.
There shouldn't be all these qualifications for running for office.
No. And I think they're right when they say you have to tell who you're doing business with. That's only fair so there's no conflict of interest.
Well, I think that's true. Yes, you want to know who people have stock with and so forth. And I think you want to know what they do with campaign funds. That's it.
This dude, Richard, I think his name is Richard Rifkin, the guy in charge of all this stuff. Mm-hmm. He's saying, hey, who's Howard Stern, man? He's got to tell us who he's doing business with, and he's got to tell us if he's doing business with someone who does business with the state. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll tell you that. I agree with the guy.
But what's this about, posting your salary?
I don't know.
What your income is.
Because I'm telling you, a lot of people just don't want to give that information up, especially if they have kids.
Do you have to give them tax returns or something?
Who? No, it doesn't work that way. You have to check off. It's like you have to see the whole form. It's very complicated. But when you get done, you're basically telling them how much money you have.
They could figure it out.
Yeah. Anybody with half a brain could figure it out. And Penny Crone, she wouldn't tell you how much money she makes.
No.
Of course not, because she works with other people. It just totally ruins your life. I don't know, man.
I'm still surprised.
I didn't realize how extensive it was, because even when I got into the campaign, I called this guy who was an accountant who had filled out some of these forms and stuff. He says, it's not that extensive. So everyone had a different answer. And then finally, when it came down to it, it was very extensive. It's weird.
Yeah, because the initial things that I heard was that it was just, yes, I have an income. Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Stock. Yes, I have this.
And believe me, we would have had no problem getting all the signatures we needed, because as soon as I got over financial disclosure, boom, one day we would have had all the signatures. I know it. I could have gotten us 50,000 signatures in one day. I know it.
Yeah, I believe you.
I could do it.
Well, Joe, what about what I just said? You guys go ahead and get him on the ballot anyway, even though he's dropped out, and then he gets elected, he can take the office.
Well, I'd have to talk to legal experts to see how that works. We're going to have to go ahead with a petition drive anyway at this point, because we're right in the middle. So at least until the end of August, we'll still be petitioning.
Hey, tell me where you're signing petitions. I'll announce it.
Great.
Good.
I know that we're going to be like this weekend up in Rochester. They're having a Park Avenue Festival on the 6th and the 7th. They're going to have people out there petitioning near the radio station van that you're on.
Oh, yeah?
In Rochester, yeah.
Rocket 95.
That's it.
So they're going to be collecting signatures anyway.
We should get the signatures anyway, just to prove to people that I could have won.
Right.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Help us get the signatures.
I'll get them for you.
You know.
I'll get them for you. Don't worry about it. You're going to be on the ballot. Bastards. Hey, how'd you like Gorilla's uncle? That speech stunned the press.
I didn't know what he said. I didn't hear it because we were running out.
It didn't matter.
Get out there at that time. I wanted to see if I could understand what Uncle James was saying.
See what my campaign proves?
What?
As soon as you put a handicapped person up on the podium, no one knows how to deal with it. They all looked away. Did you notice the press? You were out there, Joe. The press looked away.
They're
embarrassed. Putting their hands over their eyes. I'm a champion of the handicap. Now, why did you, in the middle of my press conference, at the height of my press conference, Robin, you blurt out that I'm putting the people to sleep?
Well, what the heck happened to Howard? Listen
No. I had to make a real speech.
Well, you didn't have to keep saying the same thing over and over.
I did too, evidently. They don't get it. You don't know. You got to give them a press opportunity. Hey, Uncle Jim. I only had one thing to say. I had to drag it out. This is Uncle Jim. Hey, Uncle Jim, I thought, despite the press's reaction to you, I thought you did a beautiful speech. Here's Uncle Jim. He's going to say something. What? You too. Yes, you did as well. I love that thing. Hey, give Uncle Jim a seat, Gorilla.
Why do you have him standing?
Why do you have him standing? For God's sakes, it's Uncle Jim. He can burp, too. He might do that for us. Yeah, cool. Joe Brennan trying to move his chair as far away as possible. He's fine. He's not contagious.
No, I'm just trying to give him room.
Okay, all right. Take it easy. Right. How you doing?
Right.
Could you not belch in the studio? Robin's a lady. She doesn't like to. I like your speech. It could have been better. Well, we only gave you one sentence because, you know, when you were a little nervous, right? A little bit nervous? So, Robin, he was a little nervous.
So, but he still wanted a longer speech.
You wanted a longer speech?
Oh, no.
Oh, you wanted a shorter speech. Oh, I feel a little funny you being the only one with a, what do you call it, cancer, because let me...
Yes, I know that you were nervous. Hey, how do you yell at your wife?
Oh, you're a bachelor. Oh, you can't yell at your wife. Oh, you're smart.
No one to yell at.
Then you don't need a voice. You don't have to yell at anybody. It's the only reason I need one.
Can you get laid a lot being that way?
Oh, yes?
Is that right?
Hey, Uncle Jim. What is that, Gorilla?
He was just hitting on Miss Howard Stern.
Is that right? Oh, no kidding. Uncle Jim. Well, I loved your speech. I forget exactly what you said. Do you remember the speech?
Yeah.
You do? You want to give it again? Go ahead. Here he goes. Here's Uncle Jim.
All right, one more time.
See if you can understand. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Howard.
1-800-52-STERN.
Oh, that was what
I threw it in just in case people wanted to order the tape before it goes off the market. Uncle Jim really winning the crowd over, huh? Boy, I stepped out there. It took me about 10 minutes to get him out of the coma.
I saw some people like turning the cameras away and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Really? They wouldn't even film it?
You see why, Uncle Jim, I wanted you to introduce me? People don't understand me. As soon as they see the handicap, they turn the cameras off.
Why would they do that?
Some guy was just sit there shaking his head. He was like, "This is unbelievable."
Really?
Yeah, he was like, "This is disgusting."
It doesn't bother you.
But it shouldn't be.
I don't understand it, Uncle Jim. What?
What?
See what?
The scar?
I don't want to see your scar, Uncle Jim.
Oh, he likes showing his scar.
You want to show it to me?
The hole?
Where they removed your the hole in your neck? I'd have to see that for. I've seen whales. It's the same thing. What do you got, like a little blowhole there, Uncle Jim? Yeah? Let me see. Uh-oh. I don't know if I want to see this, Robin.
Usually they wear a little net over it.
Yeah, he's got a net. Let's see. Let me see. Oh.
Yeah,
whoa.
You don't want to look at that.
Uncle Jim, this isn't a medical show. He's got a hole in his neck.
I know.
Can you smoke cigars through that little hole? Yeah? You do? Good for you. You know what that kind of reminds me of? A woman's private area.
Stop that.
Hey, Uncle Jim just flipped me the bird. You know what I mean? He kind of looks a little like a woman. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could have some fun with that little thing.
I like that.
But Uncle Jim, you know as well as I do that I am proud to have you on the team. I was proud to have you support me as governor. I know you used to wear a Howard Stern for Governor button. Yes, and I thank you for all of your support. Yes, that's Uncle Jim, and of course the great Joe Brennan, who's been behind the campaign and working hard behind the scenes. And yes, Joe, I will continue to announce petition places, and I will continue to support the Libertarian Party. Thank you. Uncle Jim, I love you very much, and because you were nice enough to come here today, I am going to give you one of my new videos at half price. So just give me like $17 or something.
What a giver!
Hey, the guy's a nice guy. Why not? He's a good man. He should have it at half price, shouldn't he? Exactly. Joe, you too, if you want half price. Throw that in as well. A little parting gift.
Your handicap is being a libertarian.
That's right.
Handicap is not having a lot of money.
Yeah, Joe legally has a libertarian plate. I mean, actually, handicap plates, yeah, because he's a libertarian. That's his handicap. But thank you, everyone. I'm sorry I'm not running for governor. I know this comes as a blow to 20% of the population.
I'm very disappointed. Now I don't know who to vote for.
Well, let's hold on. Let's see what happens here. Don't jump to any conclusions. Just because I'm out of the race doesn't mean I'm not going to win. Joe, you're running for lunch, aren't you? Joe, putting on a little weight over there. You gotta get out to more petition drives. Jog around a little bit.
Walk, don't drive.
I want to look like Al Roker in a few minutes. All right. Joe looks good, though. Believe me, he gets his share. And Uncle Jim, any parting words for us? Anything you'd like to say? No. Gary, my producer, prepare hell for me because I'm sure I'm going there. And Robin, you're right behind.
Jackie's going to be right behind you.
Oh, Jackie's already got a foot there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. He just laughs and laughs. Don't care what's going on. No sensitivity. All right. Thank you, Uncle Jim. Thank you, Joe Brennan of the Great Libertarian Party. And we'll be back right after these words. I'm back. Bet you my father's heartbroken that I'm not going to be the governor.
Yeah, he was really into it.
I should call him, huh?
You didn't tell him?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
He's going to be broken hearted.
You're going to let him find out? He found out on the radio as he's listening?
Yeah, I hope he gets over it.
You people are so insensitive.
Oh, what's his number? I don't know his number.
You're really close to your family. Don't you ever give me grief again. I know their number.
Do you know it?
Sure.
Do you know my parents' number?
No, I know my parents'
Wait a second. This is not funny. I really don't remember it.
I have your parents' number written down at home, but I don't have it here.
Can you call someone and get my parents' number? Wait a second. Let me just think for a second. I'll figure it out. I'm writing it down. I forgot it.
Howard, they've had that number for a long time.
Is it the same number?
Yeah.
I thought they...
No, maybe they changed.
Gary, bring me my parents' phone number. I'm embarrassed. I don't remember it.
And you say you call every week. Sure.
No, I usually do. I usually remember it.
How?
I'm drawing a blank.
How do you call them? You have to look it up?
516.
Yeah, that's good.
9221. I think this is... I can't believe I can't remember my parents' phone number. Can someone bring me my parents' phone number?
Big shot.
I have been busy, all right?
Don't call your parents.
Let me have the number.
Did you remember it?
No, wrong number. Boy, I guess I wouldn't have been a very good governor.
Would you tell them who this is on the phone? They probably won't recognize the
No, come on. I just drew a blank. Thanks. You know, I'm a busy man, Robin.
Sure. Too busy for your parents.
Hope they're not having sex. I don't want to interrupt. They're pretty...
Did you hang up?
Hello?
Dad?
Yeah.
You're on the air.
Yes.
Well, what'd you think of my press conference?
Well, I enjoyed your press conference. It's just the context of it wasn't too thrilling.
Yeah.
The fact that you can't run. I really thought you were going to overcome all the obstacles, but sometimes you can't.
Yeah, my father said, don't tell people what you make. You never told me what you made.
No.
I never knew what... I still don't know what you have. I hope you have a lot.
Oh.
Because you could leave me something.
I have you in my will, you know that.
Right. I'll get your house, won't I?
In the will?
I think me and my sister get everything to split.
Yeah.
You know,
His entire empire.
This thing of challenging votes, I was just reading in the Times, in the editorial there, even the Times was saying about it, it's gotten completely out of hand. Everybody's challenging everybody else. I mean, to run for political office.
Right.
You go out and you try to get signatures, and it's a fiasco.
It is, and the point is, what is the political process supposed to be? Get people on the ballot and have a choice.
Right.
So they make it so difficult.
What is this signature thing anyway?
Exactly. They're challenging signatures. I mean, it's just...
Well, they're doing it deliberately. First of all, they're trying to keep people from running.
Well, they want to keep me off. I know that.
Yeah.
And it's very costly to try to prove it. You know, I mean, so people run into financial problems. They do everything they can to keep you from running.
Well, this is why it's even very difficult to create a new party.
Exactly. Oh, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
But listen, maybe that's the only route you can go is a write-in. It's very difficult with write-ins.
I know. Well, the lawyer I was just talking to said...
The goofy vote is also not the very
smart vote, yeah.
It's easy just with a little lever.
It is. If my name was just up there, all you'd have to do is pull the lever. That's easy.
I think it's a whole procedure. You got to fill out a form or something.
Right, you got to...
I've never done it, so I don't know. But
supposedly, when you go in the voting booth, you pull out something on the bottom, and it's a piece of paper there.
Right on, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that hard. I gotta look into it, but I'm sure, I can't win on a write-in vote.
Well, you'll make a statement.
Yeah, what is that statement? Just help me out with that, will
you? Get a sizable portion of the vote, even with a write-in.
I want to tell you one thing. This is no baloney. Since you've come out with your platform, I have seen so many articles. In fact, now they are definitely going ahead. You know, the contractors that do the repair?
Yep.
They are private contractors, and what they've been doing is cutting off, on a 3-lane highway, cutting off 2 lanes.
Yeah.
Right.
They've been doing this. Now, this is arbitrarily being done, and finally, with all the people complaining, they've said, well, you can't do that anymore, especially during the daytime. You want to do it at night, fine.
Right.
Not during the day, because when you cut off 2 lanes, you're dead.
Yeah, and you know what happens, too? Well, finally, they're starting to recognize that, you know what? This is what people care about. Getting to work.
Oh, for sure.
They don't care about half these issues.
In New York, they're surprised that people care about getting to work.
Yeah, I know. Every politician is surprised. First they were goofing on me. Now they're writing every article about it. I would have won. I would have taken the whole damn town by storm.
Why are you giving up? You could still win.
Well, I don't want to go to jail for a year, okay?
Well, nobody's saying you have to go to jail.
Well, yes, they are.
They definitely would go after him because that's the...
But he's not a real candidate.
Yeah, but I would be August 30th.
That's right.
No,
that's
you've
the
dropped
problem.
out.
No.
People have remained on the ballot even though they have decided not to run simply because the process was put in motion, Howard.
Is that true, Dad?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Yes, trust me on it.
All right.
Yeah, come to think of it, I've heard of campaigns where, in fact, when someone dies...
That's right. They stay on the ballot.
They stay on the ballot because it's there already. Now, if you
and if that dead person wins...
Right.
They have to have another election. It doesn't go to the next person down the line.
That's a good possibility.
They then have to acknowledge that person won.
Well, Joe Brennan says he's going to still work to get me on the ballot, and you know what? I will announce every ballot sign, every signature place, and I'll do it.
That's a good strategy. If you're on the ballot...
But does that mean I have to die, Dad?
No.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Dad.
Let's not go overboard to politics.
All right, I understand.
But, that's a very... Robin, that's very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Robin's thinking over there. At least someone's thinking. I'm paying all these lawyers, and she's thinking for
You
free.
didn't call me.
Wow.
The one person.
I'm going to give you a check.
Who knew you knew anything? I didn't know that. There's a lot of wrinkles in her brain. What is it? What is it, Jackie?
I'm just wondering, when are you officially breaking the law? When you run for office without financial, or as soon as you walk into office?
As soon as you're a bona fide candidate, which would have been August 30th because I would have been on the ballot.
Right.
That's when you're breaking the law.
So
August 30th is the date you have to file by.
If on August 30th you said, I am not running, I'm no longer a candidate.
Now I don't have to file financial disclosure.
Right, but you'd still be on the ballot.
And I don't think they can remove... Ooh.
That's what I was trying to say earlier.
There's hope.
Very interesting. I don't know why you hired lawyers when you had Robin sitting there.
He always spends this money.
Meanwhile, who knows if Robin even knows what she's talking about?
I know what I'm talking about.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Listen, even if she doesn't know what she's talking about, it sounds good to me.
Right. At least it's hope. At least there's something to live for. Good, I like that.
Very good. You see what this call came about?
Hey, by the way, tune in tonight on E if you want to see the whole press conference, including Gary Puppet and Uncle Jim.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that will be on.
TV cameras did not turn their back.
I'll be glad to tune in, being that it's not on in my area.
Right. My poor father can't watch me.
In other words, we did not take enough, we didn't buy an apartment in the building that Cablevision owns.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And where's my friggin' lawyer? Why does Robin know? Is he still here, that Bob Miller?
I'm telling you, he should be paying Robin.
That's right. I'm going to extract some of that pay he gets.
Hey, didn't you think my speech was good, Dad?
Yes, I loved it.
Yeah, of course.
And didn't it pep it up when I interrupted him?
Well, Robin's not used to seriousness.
I really did. I said to your mother, there's a real good speech. But you see, in your case, they don't want good speeches.
They want laughs.
Yeah, they count. There's a laugh meter there.
That's right.
And that's not what's important. You made some sense when you were talking.
Of course. Hey, Stuttering John, what do you want? You interrupt my father. I told you not to do that, you moron.
Yeah, shut up and sit down.
Right. What?
Your lawyer's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Sure he's gone.
Sure he's gone. The meter's not running anymore. I fired him.
Are you kidding? Of course he's gone.
Says to me, I'm now going to look into writing campaign. I said, don't look into anything. Please, I want the meter to stop. You know, once you hire a lawyer, the meter never stops.
You're going to become your own lawyer.
You know why the lawyer left? Because there's a solution.
Right. They don't want to know me anymore. That's unbelievable. Listen, I know you and Mom were having sex. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, you know, you call it the most inopportune time.
I wonder when's the last time you had any.
Did you want to come to Fred's bachelor party, by the way?
Dad, you wouldn't have got to that. Mom would have thrown you out of the house, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
You know what your mother says. You can go, but don't come back.
Right. Hey, I tell you something. He doesn't have a wife. He has a mother.
Right.
And she don't let him go to bachelor parties.
Okay, Hal.
My father don't want me getting a tattoo.
No?
He just give me a whole lecture.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm into it, though. This is something I've wanted my whole life.
What's the lecture? I want to hear.
He didn't lecture. He just said, you really get one of those? I said, yeah, but I'm still in the designing stage.
You know why? It doesn't fit your M.O.
Oh, sure it does. You don't know me.
No, I know that. There's some things I put up with, but
no, it doesn't fit your M.O.
The earrings are good.
The hair is good.
That's right. But I feel that's such a statement that you don't need. You're not a motorcycle.
See, you know what he's saying. You can always change all this other stuff.
Exactly.
He's still waiting for me to cut my hair and get rid of the earrings.
Right.
No, you know what?
But it could be done.
No, I've had too much of a burning desire my whole life. I have to do it before I die.
Listen. You don't have to fulfill every fantasy.
That's what you think.
You know, your father's lived without that.
My father couldn't fulfill any fantasy.
I'm still working on my fantasy.
Believe me, I would. I'll take you to the tattoo place. I'll get you some on your ass. It'll be beautiful.
No, never mind that on my head.
Yeah, I'll tattoo some hair on your head.
Ah, you're cooking.
All right, Dad. I know you're disappointed, but what Robin says may be true.
Right. Okay.
Don't bum out. I don't want you jumping off any buildings.
God bless Robin.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's my father, Benjamin Stern, a former broadcaster himself, sort of.
Yes.
An engineer.
Mr. Proper Modulation.
Proper Modulation. My father's really into me being governor.
Yeah?
Really into it. Doesn't care about any of this disc jockey crap, none of it.
Then you would have impressed him.
Yep. Well, you know what? Little lady over there, my little girl.
I'm always pulling for you.
You know my nickname for you, little girl. You might be onto something over there, you sweet thing.
I'm always pulling for you.
I don't love you just for those breasts. I love your brain.
Hey, you know, and you used to say that a big set of boobs
meant no brains.
That's right. Now I'm trying to prove you wrong.
Hey, you get another breast reduction, you're going to be a friggin' Einstein. You're my little girl. That's my nickname for you. Can you believe Elvis? That's what he called his girlfriend, little girl.
It was very imaginative.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember her name is what it was.
What a fertile imagination.
Little
right.
girl.
Your little girl 1, your little girl 2.
That way you didn't get confused.
What a jam-packed show. Let's take a break, do some news.
All right.
And we'll stay on schedule, sort of. Learning more about Jackie during the commercials, and that was fun. Robin, we're on a schedule. There's so much to talk about just with this campaign and running for governor, and I don't know. I just got a fax from a guy who says, write-in voting is easy. I'm an election inspector, and I can explain how to vote by write-in method in 10 seconds. You'll still win. And also, Robin says I can still end up on the ballot.
Yeah, you could be on the ballot. You could have people writing you in. You could.
It's not over till it's over,
win
Robin.
in a number of ways, Howard.
Republicans haven't thwarted me yet.
There's a way to get around them, and we will.
I still want to be governor. I want to be governor. I want to be governor. Oh, man. It's not over until the fat woman divorces Tom Arnold. That's a new expression going around.
Well, that's imminent.
Oh, yeah.
Then maybe it's over. Robin.
Yes?
You got a little news for us, my little girl?
Little bit.
Little girl.
Little girl.
Well, we learned a lot
my
today.
name, too, huh?
Yeah, what is your name? I've been calling Fred little girl. Don't be too impressed with yourself over there.
Well, I wanted to tell you about these this triple execution.
Cool.
I think that's the big story today. Happened out in Arkansas.
You should have done the news before the press conference, so I would have been up on the current events.
You couldn't talk about that, but there was a triple execution today.
Did they sit them all in the same electric chair at the same time, one on each guy's lap, or do they?
I don't know. I don't know. Did they have 3 chairs, or did they do them one at a time, just, one right after the other? But 3 executions to be carried out by the state of Arkansas have been completed.
Lucky Arkansas. I'm moving there.
Franklin Klein, James Holmes, and Darrell Richley were executed one after the other. So it was boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. Out goes the light.
I wonder if they had to stand in a room and watch, the other 2 had to watch each guy fry.
That's cool. Now,
I would have done it that way.
All right, which one of you boys want to go first?
No volunteers?
Would you still
will draw straws.
You still want to go last, wouldn't you?
Yes, I want to watch those other 2.
All right. Dip them in barbecue sauce.
and
horseradish. Let them marble.
The executions were carried out after the Supreme Court rejected some final appeals. Each man declined to make a final statement.
Wow.
It's the nation's first triple execution. I didn't even know we ever had one.
Jeez.
But it's the first triple execution in 32 years.
Why'd they have to do it all on the same day? That's a Trivial Pursuit question. You win, Robin. All right, let me review what I've learned so far.
Okay.
I've learned, number 1, that I'm not a candidate. Number 2, that Fred bombed in public as a puppeteer.
I wish I could have seen that. I got to watch tonight.
I'm watching the E! Show tonight.
He did.
That's the one on at 11 o'clock, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll be on at 11. I'm staying up.
I felt like Jackie on Star Search.
I've learned that Elvis got laid in Washington. And number 4, that we French fried 3 murderers today.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
They had a minister with them just before the whole thing went off, and he said they prayed together, or at least he prayed with one of these guys.
Is that right?
And then he walked him to the door, and he didn't have any last words. I also understand that...
They should have zapped the guy who prayed with him, too.
These executions came a little bit too quickly for one of those executed. This guy, Darrell Richley. Darrell was scheduled to be executed at 9, and they were talking to him, and at 10 of 8, they were told that it was time for him to come outside.
Ooh. That's good to throw it off a little.
They didn't know it was going to happen, and they said Darrell had some plans, and he didn't get to carry them out.
What was his plan?
Because they moved up the execution.
What was he going to do? I mean, what could you possibly do? Picnic?
At 10 of 8, they told him, you're going to be executed in 10 minutes.
Oh, I can, man.
But wait a minute, I had all these plans.
Yeah, I had to buy Christmas gifts.
I had my last hour all planned out.
What kind of thing is it? No, you don't understand, officer.
He was executed an hour ago.
No, I got an hour to live here.
He was going to...
I'm supposed to molt and turn into a butterfly in an hour. Yeah, right.
He was going to read this letter to his brother, and he didn't have time. And he was going to write some letters to his family. He didn't get to jot those last few notes.
All the years he's sitting there in prison, he couldn't jot the notes. Now he's got to write.
This guy's complaining. Totally threw him off schedule.
Just go and die.
He had psyched himself up to be executed at 9 o'clock.
Right. He had this whole schedule worked out right up until the last minute. Living life to the fullest.
And the state of Arkansas ruined it.
Arkansas is a serious state, man.
Can you imagine complaining?
You know, you feel weird when you hear a guy get executed, but then tell him what the crime was. He probably, chopped up some women and children.
Well, they killed some guy while they were trying to commit a robbery.
Ah, good.
In front of his family.
Yeah.
Right.
Beat him to death in front
of him. Yeah, and it wasn't even necessary.
Oh, no.
They just beat him for the hell of it.
They should have beat them.
They should have beat him to death. That's right. What is this electric chair? Take him outside and beat him up to death.
We have all kinds of strange things going on. A man in New Jersey finds himself in trouble with the law and possibly facing jail time because he bludgeoned a rat to death.
You know, I saw that on the news. I couldn't believe it. Of
this
course.
man had, he's growing tomatoes or something in the backyard, and this pesky little rat kept running in and biting his tomatoes.
Right.
So he decided to put down a trap to catch it.
Right.
And once he caught it, he thought, geez, if I take this down the street and let it go, it's going to come right back, and my grandchildren play in this yard.
I don't want a rat.
And he just started beating the rat to death.
With a bat. Of course.
And I don't know who turned him in.
His kids.
But the ASPCA.
The ASPCA. What are we going to have, a pet rat?
They have issued summonses against him.
The ASPCA, everyone has become so politically correct. Is there a sane person in the tri-state area? These are rats. These are vermin. You know what vermin is? That's something to be gotten rid of. I walked into a bank one time. I was online. It must have been 100 years ago. I walked in. It was in Washington, D.C., and Robin, I walk in, and there was a rat, some kind of vermin, running across the floor. All the women were screaming. A guy walks over with his heel of his shoe, and he steps on its head, and that's the end of it.
Everything's over. Everybody can go back to work now happily.
Will there be a day when if someone swats a mosquito, they will be in jail?
Probably. We're moving toward that day.
We become nuts with this animal thing.
The Humane Society Director Lee Bernstein an ASPCA officer himself, said that the rat had been abused.
Tell him to worry about Israel, not the rats.
He says, I don't like rats either.
Right.
But if you catch one, you take it to the woods and release it. This guy just didn't want to wait for the ASPCA guy to get there and take the rat off his hands. So he took matters into his own hands. He got angry at the rat for eating his tomatoes, and he bludgeoned him to death.
Oh.
He said, I'm not upset that the rat was killed. I'm upset in the way it was done.
Oh, I see. Should have drowned it in the toilet. What is it?
I saw this guy in the news last night, because he was talking...
The guy who killed the rat?
Yeah.
Oh, no, the guy from the ASPCA.
Oh, yeah.
He was talking to everybody. He said, his exact words were, if I heard that somebody caught a roach and pulled all its legs off, I would find that person and prosecute him.
Great.
He said that.
Yeah, that's good. That's important work he's doing. What?
They should pull off his arms.
He keeps talking like that. They might. You never know. This country could have a backlash.
He faces up to 6 months in jail and $1,000 in fines.
I was doing a show once at the Nassau Coliseum in front of 20,000 people, and a guy was going to warm up the crowd. His act, Vinny D'Amico.
Yeah.
His act was he takes a live mouse, he dips it in olive oil and swallows it whole, and then he vomits. So I heard this. I said, this is fantastic entertainment. After all, people are paying a lot of money. They should see more than just me. You got to give them something. So I announced this on the air. Next thing I know, we have 30 marshals from, I think, the ASPCA down there threatening to arrest me if Vinny goes on and does his act.
They had to now watch the show to make sure no animal cruelty went on.
The guy wanted to eat food, basically. He considered it food and wanted to eat it. For God's sakes. People love animals more than they do people. I love people, not animals. Thank you. Another speech.
Well, you're so political. You're always giving speeches.
Well, you don't hear Cuomo or Pataki saying anything about this.
There's a move afoot by some Major League Baseball players to move up their strike deadline. The deadline is August 12th, less than a week away. But the baseball players have been infuriated by the owners. The owners delayed some huge payment they're supposed to make to the players' pension fund.
Mm-hmm.
So today, a bunch of them are supposed to have a meeting to determine whether they should move the strike deadline up to Friday, I think.
I see OJ.
So we could very possibly be looking at an interruption in the baseball season.
Who cares?
President Clinton said he'd be sorry to see it.
Oh, please. Just give me the World Series. Who even cares if the rest of it's played?
He says that there are a lot of records that are hanging in the balance now that could be broken if you had a full season of play.
I see.
And those players may never get those opportunities again.
Oh, I'm crying.
And they would be robbed.
I'm crying for the rats and the players.
He'd hate to see the national pastime interrupted and not have a whole season.
Well, until the owners come to their senses about what they're dealing with, the players have every right to go on strike. This is not a free enterprise system, this baseball. Baseball should have no minimums and no maximums. That's the way it is. Just go in and negotiate. And I couldn't care if they went on strike, because all I do is watch World Series anyway. Give me the World Series and play the regular season in Cuba.
Well, I think the Yankees, if there is an interruption, the Yankees will be in first place.
Fine, that's all the better. It's so crazy. The Yankees are in first place.
And nobody can see them.
I talked to a friend the other day. He said he went to a Yankee game. He said he never felt safer. There are more cops around the Yankee game than are in any town in the United States of America.
Is that right?
But people are afraid. You park your car there. There's tons of cops. But it's in the South Bronx. Mm-hmm. Who wants to go there?
The only time I see Yankee Stadium is when I'm across the river looking at it.
People are afraid. And what are they afraid of? Black people and Spanish people.
Oh, stop that.
Right?
They're not.
They are. What do you think they're afraid
of? Those neighborhoods.
But who's living in those neighborhoods?
Doesn't matter. If it was a white neighborhood that was dangerous with people shooting, why would they go there?
Well, it isn't. It's a black and Spanish neighborhood.
So, but it's people shooting that they don't.
So they become afraid of black people, they become afraid of Spanish people, and then they don't hire them at work.
Oh, boy. Here you go with your far-fetched...
Why we can't sit and worry about O.J. and defend criminals. We got to get on with the agenda of the black community. Just to rise up. Don't sit and worry about criminals. Worry about getting work and jobs. Stop it. If there's racism, ignore it. Just keep going.
Preaching to black folks again.
I haven't done it the whole show.
You missed it.
Sometimes the blacks need to be preached to at least once a day.
I think it's pertinent to say right here, since you have mentioned O.J., that mystery witness...
I see O.J.
that the defense was so high on last week.
Yeah, where is he?
Who said that... they also said that there was this witness who could blow the case wide open and prove O.J.'s innocence.
Yeah.
Well...
Oops.
That mystery witness
doesn't exist.
Might be this 45-year-old man who has a habit of calling the police department and saying he has major tips to lead to the break-in of crime.
Mm-hmm.
He did it in the case of that little girl who was abducted from her home and killed, and he's done it on several other occasions. And this is the guy, if this is the guy they're hanging their hats on, it might be a major embarrassment for the defense of O.J. Simpson.
There is no defense for O.J. Simpson except to scream that he's being prejudiced by the police department, that they don't like black people. That's the only defense. He's got no defense.
Not that he didn't do it? That's not a defense?
Check the trunk of O.J.'s car. I think he's got the Lindbergh baby in there. I think he's guilty of a few other things. What do you think of that? He's a guy with a history. He's stalking people. He's making diaries. He's beating his wife. His wife's trying to move to New York.
Did you hear Mike Walker on Geraldo the other day? He said, yesterday it was, from the Inquirer, they have learned that O.J. used to lock Nicole in a wine cellar.
Yeah. Now you tell me. How's he get? The only way that the O.J. I see O.J. will get off is if he gets enough blacks on the jury. They'll.
You think that blacks will not convict him even if they think he committed the crime?
Yes.
Oh, Howard, I'm so bad. I'm so sorry for you.
Don't be sorry for me. Be sorry for the people on the jury. And you know what? If O.J. gets off, I won't even think about it. I'm not going to even comment on it. What do you think of that?
You'll continue to meet with him and socialize.
Of course. In fact, I'm working on a project with O.J. as soon as he gets out.
The Los Angeles City Council voted 11-1 to pay black motorist Rodney King the $3.8 million. He was awarded by a jury.
In Singapore, they would have
beaten by 4 white police officers.
Double it. 3.8 isn't enough for him. Let me tell you something. In Singapore, they would have taken this Rodney King once they found him drunk driving. They would have taken him and caned him. He would have got a beating 50 times worse. We reward criminals. We reward drunk drivers who could kill us on the street. We're doomed. We made him a millionaire. Now we should name a country after him. Rodney King of America. What do you think of that? We should change the United States of America to Rodney King of America. United States of Rodney King. What do you think of that? I don't think we should stop with $3.8 million.
Give him the country.
Should give him more. Right, put his face on the flag. Good suggestion.
In Compton, the FBI...
Hey, Robin, look who just walked in the room.
Who?
Gary Puppet. What's he doing here? What's going on, Fred? Fred, maybe you've had enough Gary Puppet today. I saw you at the press conference.
I was putting it in the bag, Howard.
Nice way to treat your buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He puts him in head first. You see how he loads that puppet in?
Dumped him on his head.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't want to hurt him.
Is Gary Puppet upset from bombing today?
Oh, I'll tell you.
It's rough, isn't it, Gary Puppet, being in show business?
Show business isn't so easy.
It's a rough crowd. I think I'm giving up comedy for being a political advisor. What do you think?
Let me tell you something, Gary Puppet. It's fun. You can be funny in here because you're among friends. Suddenly, when you got to go out in front of a crowd, it's a whole different thing.
Ooh, they're freaking brutal.
All right.
You needed a warm-up act.
You must have new respect for Jackie when he goes out there and does his stand-up.
Actually, no.
Could you fix your collar? You're on camera.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Gary Puppet. Have Fred help you. There you go.
You missed, Dopey.
All right, very good.
In Compton, the FBI and the Los Angeles County prosecutor are investigating a black police officer, Michael Jackson,
Michael Jackson's a police officer? Don't you have to be certain masculinity to...
There's a shortage of names, obviously.
Yeah, the black community, short on names. Well, you be Michael Jackson, and you're Michael Jackson, too.
You're Michael Jackson, the police officer.
Right.
He's Michael Jackson, the singer.
And never the twain shall meet. Now, I see
This black police officer was seen beating a guy on videotape. Felipe de la Cruz, who was 17.
Guilty.
They say on the videotape it shows Jackson beating de la Cruz even after he's down.
Cool.
He should summoned to...
And why was he beating him?
I don't know. I guess the kid was being unruly. Jackson had been summoned to the house by a social worker who was taking the youth and his siblings into state care as neglected children.
Well, they're not neglected now. Somebody's obviously disciplining them. You know, you got to understand something. These officers are not social workers. They are brought in. They say, remove the person from the room. If the person don't remove...
They remove.
They remove under any kind of way they can remove. People do not listen to police anymore.
But I just wanted to point out, we constantly focus on the white police officers in the Rodney King case. Police officers often beat people.
Of course, and they have to, and they have every right to. Should have pulled out the kid's fingernails.
They have some strange things going down in Miami, too. You should go down. There's a place that needs help, Howard. You know how you're constantly preaching to the blacks? We are not on in Miami.
Oh, I wish.
Desperate for your help.
We had a deal in Miami. The FCC killed it. I wish I could get on in Miami. Mis avios de pesca la cocina.
No, Miami police say a motorist shot and killed another driver at a stoplight for no reason.
Make me governor over there in Florida.
Clers Harris III.
Wall-to-wall Ricky Ricardos who need guidance.
22 is being charged with killing Russell Bean, who is 46 years old. Harris loaded a gun and asked the co-worker riding with him, "Are you ready to die?" His friend fled. He just jumped out of the car and started running.
That's a tough question.
Harris then walked to Bean's car, fired several times, smiled, and drove off. He was later arrested trying to rob a store. I have also heard stories of people being killed in hit-and-run incidents down there. There was a guy who was driving a car. He hit a child accidentally, stopped because he was concerned about the child, and then was beaten and attacked by a mob who just wanted to rob him.
Oh, they weren't even caring about the kid.
They didn't care about the kid.
They just wanted his money.
They thought he was a good robbery target.
Well, look, we allow more and more third world types into this country, and you can expect these kind of stories. This is not America anymore. There's different Americas. There's the civilized America, and then there's the rest of it. There's pockets of unrest. There's
also going to be some kind of a subcommittee hearing today in Washington about witness intimidation. We have situations in this country now where drug dealers go about intimidating the witnesses to the point that nobody wants to testify or give information to the police to capture criminals.
Of course.
There was, I think, this same incident in Florida where the mother of the girl who was hit by the car, she had to leave her neighborhood.
Right.
Because after she gave information to the police that led to the arrest of somebody, people in the neighborhood started threatening her because she talked to the police.
Right. Well, there you go. There you go.
It's an amazing world we're beginning to live in.
I see people on the news go, we have to get rid of the drug dealers. We have to get rid of the drug dealers. They want the police to come in and beat the crap out of these drug dealers, but they don't want the police to beat the crap out of anyone else. They're all confused. You got to be on one side of the law or the other.
They want them to come in and take the drug dealers away.
Yeah.
But if you beat the drug dealers, then they'll have a problem.
Or if you need some help testifying against them, they don't want to testify.
They don't want to put their butts on the line.
Country's changed. It's not the United States anymore. It's the United States of every skunk that wants in. We let them in. Open the doors up. Keep letting them in. Let them come in. Immigration. Viva la immigration. United States of Rodney King.
Back to O.J. Simpson for a second. Everybody's wondering if it's possible to impanel an impartial jury.
Yeah, sure. There you go. He's got that right.
Are there 12 people in this country
who
could sit and listen impartially?
No, I could. I could tell you right away he's guilty.
Wouldn't you want in on that jury?
First I'd be impartial, then I'd find him guilty.
No, you. That's not the way it works.
Because we let so many people into this country, they can't even sit on a jury. They don't even know what it is to sit on a jury. They are not on the side of justice. We let everyone in like flies through a hole in a screen. They come in. We have no borders. Sucks.
Mickey Rourke has been arrested and charged with spousal abuse.
Well, when you're down, you're down. Mickey
He's the
Rourke?
actor, of course, from The Pope of Greenwich Village and 9.5 Weeks.
I saw him on TV the other night. He said he was bankrupt.
Oof.
There's no money. He's playing handball with the homeless.
Hollywood detectives confirmed that the actor was arrested in Los Angeles on July 26th, accused of spousal abuse. He and his model actress wife, Carrie Otis, were married back in 1992. He came in with a lawyer, was arrested, and was immediately bailed out on $50,000.
Okay.
That's all I know about that case at this time.
At this time, so at future times you'll have more on the case.
I will be investigating. I want to know exactly what happened and what they're going to do about it. And finally, today in the Post, they have a computer rendition of what a child of Lisa Marie and Michael Jackson would look like.
Right.
But they use Michael Jackson's plastic surgery nose.
Right.
That is not in his genes. His genetics would not give him that kind of nose.
Of course not. You want a real picture of what Michael Jackson's kid would look like with Lisa Marie? I'll draw it for you. Here.
Oh,
no. Here. Like that. That's the old Michael Jackson nose. Right, Robin?
And the skin would be darker, too, probably.
Right, of course. That's all.
So there are rumors that Lisa Marie is pregnant. I don't believe them. In London, they're reporting that she could be 3 months pregnant. And that as soon as Michael
Who's the father?
As soon as Michael heard about the pregnancy, he suggested that they get married. He was delighted at the thought of becoming a daddy.
Their kid will make Gary's kid look normal.
The other rumor I hear is that Michael Jackson is going to take Lisa Marie into a studio and make an album with her.
Well, he's really in love.
And that's what's happening.
Thank you, Robin. All right, we're going to get out of here. It's been a very trying day for all of us. We are very drained. We had a long session contacting Elvis and then the press conference.
Well, we've got a lot to think about now. We've got to keep you in the race somehow so you can be governor, even though you have to drop out as a Libertarian Party candidate.
When you said we had a lot to think about, I thought you were talking about lunch.
Oh.
I don't know what I'm going to eat today. Jackie Platinum, Joke Page Martling. To order Jackie's CD, The Joke Man, it's only $10 plus free shipping and handling. Price includes 20-page Joke Lane catalog. You get it all by calling 1-800-323-5464. There's a little sample. That's the beer routine that Robin likes. Tomorrow night, Jackie at Annapolis Comedy Club. Both shows totally sold out. I told you to get tickets early.
But there's going to be another.
Tickets now on sale for January 13th, 1995.
Don't lose heart.
For info and dirty jokes, call 516-9221. That's Jackie the Joke Man. Fred Norris Band, congratulations to you. Saturday, Roost 3, North Bergen, New Jersey. Taking them by storm. Yeah. Gary Puppet going to be on stage with you?
No. Actually, he's going to be opening up for Jackie.
Don't miss Stuttering John's band playing at the Roxy in Huntington, Long Island this Saturday night, August 6th. Are the wheels turning in your head right now? The Gary Puppet opening up for Jackie?
Yeah.
I see a career for Fred.
Oh, yeah.
Don't miss Stuttering John's band on the Conan O'Brien Show next Wednesday night, August 10th. See that stupid puppet opening up shows.
I think the Gary Puppet should be introducing everyone.
See Mike Ganji at the Jose Cuervo. Gary comes into the office the other day, because we have our little meeting afterwards. He says, Wolf, do you mind? No, stop that. He goes, do you mind if I take Gary Puppet with me on my appearance?
Oh. He's going to be there with Gary Puppet. Who's going to work it?
Yeah, and who's going to get paid? He's taking it evidently with him. So I said, I don't care if you take Gary Puppet. If anything happens to that thing's a bigger star than you are, Gary.
Will roll.
Yeah, I'll kill you.
We'll put a hole in your back and
right.
work on your head.
Like a big dummy that you are. See Mike Ganji at the Jose Cuervo Beach Volleyball Series on Long Beach Saturday, August 6th from 11 to 2 p.m. For information, call 203-348-7039.
You got to hang a string out of the back of Gary's head.
And cut a hole in his back. Steve Gorilla will be introducing the band Black 47 tonight at Faces on 79th Street and 5th Avenue in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
Did you just do it? What's he going to do now?
Black 47, let's hear it there.
The show starts at 10:30. By the way, Scott the engineer, how are you?
Fine.
If you're planning a wedding or summer party and you need a great DJ, call Scott the Engineer's Rocket Entertainment. What's that you always say?
718, bag 5040. Music the way you like it.
All right, good for you. And Robin, I'll see you tomorrow.
KEGL Fort Worth, Dallas, your rock.